Yahoo! It's a me, Mario. Welcome back to another Project Feline Devstream. Today, we got more exciting work on the character model. Thanks wow, 30 people were waiting. Jesus. Thanks, 40, sorry, I miscounted. Thanks for being so patient, guys. Thanks for showing up. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever had 40 people wait before. Thanks, Who Cares Anymore, for being a member. Appreciate it. For some, I don't know if all of your messages are highlighted or just that one. I don't know. Maybe also, well, this other guy here is a supporter, but his message isn't highlighted. So maybe Who Cares Anymore became a supporter again. I don't know. I think it's when you become a supporter, it highlights the message in green. That actually, it makes it a lot easier for me to see. I do wish highlighted messages were like, I know, I think they are a thing. I think super chats are the equivalent, because Twitch used to have highlighted messages, and those are really helpful for me to see stuff. Oh, cool. Bergman, I'm seeing your message is highlighted now. Awesome. So before we begin, I have a favor to ask of you. You either become a member like these dudes so your messages are highlighted, or if you don't want to do that, please, please, please check out the Gabi sticker sheet. I spent a lot of time working on this. It's pretty epic. It's all of our favorite renders of Gabi, and for some reason it's super zoomed in. There we go. And you can... That's all the merch I've got at the moment. I just wanted to put up some stickers, because, like, you can have Gabi in lots of different places and stuff, because it comes with 5. So please check that out if you can. Supports the development. Speaking of development, here's Gabi's model at the moment. This is how it's going. So I've been a bit busy this week. I've been kind of going back and forth between modeling and editing. I've got like 2 devlogs that are like almost ready. I might release one of them this week, depending on how things go. And then I've got another one that's a bit longer that I've been working on. And then I've got scripts for like 2 more. So I've just been kind of busy, but I've been trying to make some progress on the model. So yeah, that's right. I'm trying to fight the content drought, guys. I still remember I have a YouTube channel and content is in the pipeline, but I also have to work on the model, and that's what we're here for today. So, I think last stream I started the face from the low poly version. And since then I've like painstakingly gone and like tried to do more. I've added some basic colors. This is not representative at all of how it's meant to look, but it's like general colors of how things can look once I go and color it in and stuff. So there's still a few things I'm not happy with, but it's a lot better than last week. So that's a win. Her facial proportions are a lot better. I'll get up the old model in a second so we can compare, but I just want to show you some features of this one. So you'll notice that she's got eyebrows and she's got eyelids modeled in. So I've noticed, this is what I do anyway. When I'm drawing anime, I tend to put this little eyelid line. So I've got that modeled in now. The old model had that, but it was textured in and it was really low quality. Like it was very blurry. So I've modeled it in so it's very sharp, like the Guilty Gear style. If we look at it from the side, I've modeled it. It's a little hard to see with like the lighting. So I'll just get rid of the shadows there. But I've modeled it in such a way that when you look at it from the side, the line is just one line. And then you look at it from the front and it like diverges at the tip there. And then if you look at it from the side, it just looks like one stroke. Because that's how I draw them as well. So I thought, that'd be cool if I could get that. And I managed to do that. So I'm really proud of that. Then there's the mouth. Because there's actually a lot of the work that you don't see straight up is actually inside the face. I've given her dentures, which is a little hard to see. I've given her lips. I've given her, like if I hide that, that's what her face looks like without the face. So we've got the inner mouth, and then we've got the teeth, and then we've got the tongue. So I've got those all in there. The old model had those as well. But because the face rig was like impossible for the old model, I didn't end up using the inner... I didn't end up using like a lot of this stuff in the old model that much. And yeah, that was mostly because if I tried to deform the face, the cheeks would all glitch out and stuff. So I wasn't able to make her that emotive. But hopefully now with the topology of this mouth, and for those who haven't been here the last few streams, this probably looks terrifying with how I've topologized this. But trust me, it's all done on purpose. With the stretched polys around the mouth, for instance, I can get around that problem I had with the old model, where I can make her mouth huge, and like I can give her the I'm trying to think of like expressions. Like I can give her like, you know how anime faces when they like gasp, their mouth gets comically large, or you know, like I could give her the soy face. I could do that if I wanted, and I can make the mouth massive, and it won't like crinkle up the around the mouth because it's all just stretched anyway. So if I like move the mouth up, it'll just go up along these axes. And that should stop shading problems and deforming problems. Because you can't have deforming problems if there's like less vertices, if you know what I'm saying. So that's why I've gone it. I wasn't gonna do like the inner mouth initially, but I thought, seeing as the mouth can actually open, let's put something in there so that I can make her emotive. So when I do her animations, I can actually give her facial expressions for like jumps and runs and stuff. Because I tried doing that with the old model, but I kind of gave up when I realized that the facial rig was a bit of a mess. But if I can do it right this time, that'd be great. So, what else? Now these ears, because this is something I'm going to get a bit in hot water over, because there's been a debate going for a while on what Gabi's ears are. Does she have cat ears, human ears, or what? So at the moment, this model is technically not Gabi's model. This is like the model it's based on. So I'm doing something where my goal at the moment is to create a humanoid mesh. And then from that, I'm going to mold Gabi's features in. So she has human ears at the moment, but that isn't, those aren't going to be her ears. Those are going to go. But I do have another character that I might have to model later who will have these ears. So I've gone and done them anyway, so that later when I need to model another humanoid, those ears are in place already. And I can just cut them and leave them depending on if it's Gabi or if it's someone else. And yeah, because then what I can do if I wanted to make another humanoid, I could literally just use the same arms, use the same legs, maybe adjust the proportions, maybe adjust like, you know, the shoulders, the hips. Like if I wanted to turn this into a male, I would just kind of redo the chest, change up the proportions of the hips and stuff a bit, and I could kind of just leave everything else, and that'll save a lot of time. Because I like the idea of reusing things. And that was the plan with the old model, but the old model was bad, so that plan didn't end up working for the old model. But this model, I think, will withstand that. I think I'll be able to transform this into a few different things. So, yeah. So let's compare the face, because the face, I want to show you just kind of like some tricks I've noticed with the face. Because there's actually a lot I got wrong with the old face, and I want to compare them side by side. And then what we're going to do, once I compare them, because I haven't connected it to the neck yet, so I want to start looking at that, and then maybe get to the hair, because the hair is going to be a bit tricky, but we'll see how we do. I wanted to, yeah, because I'm trying to pick like what's fun, and I think hair will be fun to try on stream. I was thinking of doing normals, but that's so boring, so maybe not normals. Well, let's show old Gabi. So this is old Gabi. Everyone say hi. Let me turn off some of these modifiers, and I'm going to turn on some of these masks. Okay, so that's her old head. And I'll turn off the rig. So you can start to see issues already, right? Like, hold on. I'm gonna try my best to compare these without my face cam getting in the way. So I know that there's no color yet. It still looks a bit off, and I'm still not happy with the eyes on the new one yet. But that aside, you can see that it's been topologized. Like, it's just so much messier on the old one. There's way too many edge loops around her mouth, which causes issues. And then if we look at it from the side, you'll notice something kind of interesting. I know it's a bit hard to see with the... Actually, could I... Wait a minute. I'm gonna see if I can, like, hide my face cam. Just so that it's easier to compare this. So if I turn that off... Oh, there we go. Oh, wait. I got a group. Alright, you guys should still be able to hear me. But... If you look at the old compared to the new, I know it's a little hard to see with the background. I might try and... We'll just do, like, normal... Yeah, it's a bit easier to see. So you'll see that old Gabi has a bit of a Jimmy Neutron forehead going on there, and her whole face is very squashed, and it's just not really good. Like, and there's an excess poly count everywhere. Like, there's just so much excess because I used, like, the subdivide modifier for no reason. The eyebrows also kind of clip into the... Because I didn't model the eyebrows into the head, I kind of modeled them on top of it. And what'll happen when I emote the character with the old model is that her eyebrows would, like, clip into her skin. They are doing that now, actually. But when I, like, moved the eyebrows, you'd have skin folding over the eyebrows, and that was really bad. But now I've modeled the eyebrows into the head, so that shouldn't happen anymore, because it's literally just part of the same edge flow. And then the same with the eyelashes. I've modeled those into the head, whereas the old one, it was like modeled on top and then just combined. But you can see there's like clipping there. And it doesn't look so bad here, but when you emote the character and you want to move the eyebrow, you want to like close her eyes or whatever, the eyelash will just clip into the skin a lot and it just looks jank. And remember last week I kept saying, like, the whole kind of exercise here, the whole purpose is to eliminate jank. So it's these little bits, like, I know these seem very minor, it's just like the eyelash, but it's those little things that all contribute to jank. So I've been trying my best to, like, avoid jank. But you can see, like, with the, especially with, like, the whole mouth, you can see that she's got, like, a more developed jaw now. Yeah, she's been got a better posture, she's been jaw-sizing. And I think the head is like half or a third of the poly count as the old head, which is another fun bonus. I don't know if I can find the statistics if I like select because the try count I think is for everything, like everything in the scene. I don't know if that includes bones. Okay, I don't know if it does, but it says 4,000 tries for the old one. And because I've got the entire body turned on, let me turn those off. So if I remove that, that's 2,700 for the new head. So that's like a little over half, still significantly less, mainly just because I just didn't use subdivide. So don't use subdivide is the lesson I learned. It just adds so much unnecessary, like, stuff. It's just terrible. But yeah, and then, I don't know, I guess from the front, I guess she has cheeks that are a bit more prominent now. I don't think her old model really had cheeks at all, so that's another improvement. And a more stronger ridge on the nose, too. And yeah, less polygons on the forehead, which is, yeah, so without the wireframe on, I guess it doesn't look like a lot without the wireframe, but this took a while. Like, this was kind of complicated to work out, and we're not even finished with it yet. But yeah, the head is complicated. The head is complicated. Anyway, oh sorry, there you guys are. So that's kind of how things have been going. So what I'm going to try and do now is let me just, can you guys see the desktop? Cool. What I'm going to try and do now is sort out the bottom, like where the neckline is, because I haven't really paid any attention to that yet. And then I'm going to try and connect that with the body. And then I want to try and get a start on the hair. And I'll show you, I do have something, but it's like, there's some issues that we got to work out with the hair still. So I've got like a test mesh for the hair, very low poly, just with splines. But I've just done this with symmetry, so her hairline is like in the middle and it should be off to the side, so that's something I'll have to do. And then there's the fact that it kind of covers her eyes too much, so that's going to be a little tricky, because I either have to move the eyes a bit or I have to redo the haircut a little on the front. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So let's see what we can do about the neck. So with the neck, it's tricky because I'm paying attention to these the Guilty Gear slides, and there has to be a certain amount of edges with the, you know, labeled by these lines. Like there has to be a certain particular flow of edges because it affects the shape of the head from an oblique angle, and that's something I want to try and get right. And I think I'm close, but I haven't paid attention to it from the bottom view that much. Like, I've got the, what is it? Yeah, so I've got, like, the cheek part, like, all this, I'm pretty happy with. It's just these bits here I haven't really paid attention to. It's leading to the neck, so it's this underneath the cheek type area. So I just want to make sure that that's done properly before I weld everything together to the neck. And yeah, because it's very particular the way that they do it. And in this example, obviously, like the face is kind of a different proportion than the one I'm kind of doing, because this face is a bit wider. So I have to kind of like pick and choose what to try and copy and what to just figure out with my own sort of measurements. So yeah, like I'm not sure if the ears are lining up in the right area, but yeah, so I just want to like make sure that that's sort of there. Sorry, I haven't checked chat yet, sorry. I'll see if there's any questions before I dive into focus mode. How do I do the eye, like the lenses? Those are just separate objects at the moment. They're just circles. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to topologize these yet, but I started out with this because then what I'll be able to do... Well, mainly the reason was so that I can just add colors to, like, the middle and then to the outline. And I might leave it that way. But yeah, I guess, like, I don't know. If I can just sort of take that and just... The UV map's probably going to be really easy for the eye. It's just going to be flat projected, and then I'm just going to draw over it. I'm not sure if I should do the specular modeled in or on the texture, because I noticed with Guilty Gear, on the high poly versions, they model in the specular dots, but on the low poly versions, they have it on a texture. So I might do a texture as well. And then I've just got... I think... I'm not too sure about this yet, but what I've done for the whites is that I've just like welded the edges from the outer side of the eye to the iris. So you can actually see that the edges all kind of touch where the eye is. And I don't know if that's going to cause issues later or not. I'm not sure if I should like push this back behind the eye, but I need to like not look at the eye for a bit. I've just been looking at them for too long. Yeah, oh, I don't know if I showed this, but from this side, on the old model, the side view of the eyes was very squashed. So I've tried to fix that so that it looks like how you would draw an eye, but I'm still not entirely happy with it yet. But it's getting closer. Anyway, so let's look at the neck. Oh. How many polygons am I shooting for? I'm not really thinking about poly count, to be honest. Like, my attitude with this whole thing has just been being very deliberate about every vertex that I put, which sounds like hell, but it's working. Like, especially with the body. I don't know if I can find the body in here somewhere. Like, especially with the body, like with how I've done all this. You guys saw the last few streams. I just kind of painstakingly think and go, oh, where do I want the edges to go and stuff? That's literally all I think about. I don't really even think about how many polygons it is. I just think about what can I do with these vertices to achieve the look I want? Like, you know, getting like the little fold in the muscle, getting like the bends on the joints. Like, I'm just trying to use as... I don't want to overuse them, so I've been very conservative with the amount of vertices I use. But it's, yeah, I don't think poly count hasn't really been an issue in games for a long time. Like, for the last at least the last 15 years. I don't think poly count for characters has been that big a problem. It's more to do with, like, shaders, materials, textures. That's kind of where, to my understanding at least, those are more expensive. Like, someone said to me last stream that the Final Fantasy VII Remake characters were like 17,000 polys or something like that. And that came out in, like, what, 2016 or something? So, yeah, literally all I'm thinking of is just being deliberate, and then magically the poly count is lower and optimized. So yeah, like, I didn't even realize, I was honestly expecting the poly count to go up between the new model, and, like, the whole model at the moment is, like, less than half the poly count of the old one. And that was a complete accident. I just wasn't thinking about it. So it's one of those happy little accidents, as Bob Ross would say. So let me just look at my reference on how Guilty Gear devs do their necks. Because I've literally, everything I've been doing, I've just been following their example and hoping for the best, and it's working, so I'm just gonna keep following their example. It's just, I just want to be very careful about, like, this area, because I think these vertices, they need to be merged, and then I need to move them. Because for whatever reason, this part, like this area, is kind of crucial to getting the shape of the head looking right, from what I've seen in their documentation. So I want to make sure I do that. But yeah, literally, what I'm doing right now, like, this is literally, I know I've already got the vertices in place. I made sure of that before I hopped on stream, to, like, have this sort of all connected and stuff at least. But then there's just moving everything around to get the right shape. So I think I might have to, like, move some of these. Yeah, I think these need to come up further. And for those wondering what I mean when I say it's got to be the right shape, I'll see if I can find... I had the slideshow open last time, and I'll quickly find the slide I'm referring to. Because there's a particular trick with, like, the perspective of the camera and stuff. And it basically... The magic trick is, like, being able to... get the head shape looking not weird from an angle, and without using, like, blend shapes or shape keys. So there's... I'm just trying to find the other slides. Because they... Look, now, this is in Japanese, so I can't read it, but I've like, looked at this enough to kind of get what they're saying. And what they're talking about here is, if you make the face too squashed, it kind of just... It looks like a mask. And I think NG, I'm taking that to mean not good, because I see them use NG and then a tick mark to compare things. So I'm taking NG as not good. And this is an issue, as you saw, I had with old Gabi, where her face was way too squashed, and it kind of looks off as a result. Now, the thing that they talk about with these tricks, with the polygons on the chin and everything, it's mainly the chin. That's kind of, it all comes from there, really. It's so that when you look at the face from the front, it looks good, and then you look at it from the side and it looks good too. And I think the trick is the width of the jaw. The guideline that they set out is the width of the jaw should be the same width when you look at it from an angle and from the front. So if you look at it from the front and then from an angle, the width of the jaw should be, like, the same. And I think they got a picture of that one too. I want to open... I just want to... It won't let me open the slide. Oh, there we go. So they're sort of... I think this one... No, this is a different... they're explaining something else here, where it's like the line that you see on the side of the face from the front is not the same as the one that touches the ear, which is something I've tried to do here as well. So I think that is... If we look... Okay, I might have to adjust that a bit then, because I think this needs to come out more to the side. Because what they say is that when you look at it from the front, that line, it's meant to come further forward like this. So that's where that line should be. The line that you see, the outline of the face from the front, should be controlled by the line that's here. And I have almost done it. I do have the lines there, but they're just not sitting in the right spot. So this needs to come out like a bit further, I think. But I just from here. And then I think this is meant to go like behind. So it's the face shape. It's like this line that's meant to be responsible for it, I'm led to believe. So yeah, you can see now that you look at it from the front and you've got that line, but then you look at it from the side and it's actually, it's this line here, not the one that touches the ear, because that controls something else. And it looks like it affects the lion as well. Like it affects, it'll have it so that if you get it right, you can have that line coming in front of the ear from the looks of it, which is pretty cool. And I think they have a comparison of the two here. So they've got one where you've done it wrong on the left, and then one when you've done it right on the right. Where you can see that the chin, the jaw is in front of the ear. So my topology isn't exactly the same as this, but we'll see how close we can get. But the main thing, the main point here is the fact, if we look at this, it's just, if you do it wrong, it's where that transparent part is. Like if you don't do this right, then the face will look too wide from the side. But if you do it right, then the jaw will look a bit narrower. And that trick is, like you can see the two side by side there. You can see that this one on the left looks a little bit off compared to the one on the right. Because the main point is, the rule is eliminate anything 3D. So these little rules are there so that when you look at a picture of it, you'll think that it's drawn. Because when you draw a face from that angle, you typically will, because you don't draw in perfect 3D, right? Humans, when they draw, it's like, it's an approximation. So that's, you got to make it look like it isn't 3D. And that's kind of what this is all for. So on the left, you can see that it looks like it's a 3D model that's been rotated. Whereas on the right, it looks like someone drawing to look 3D, but it isn't, even though it is. So it's that's the brilliance of it that I love so much, is that it's all been thought out very meticulously. So anyway, it's just a matter of getting the edges in place to create the right shapes. So I think my edge here kind of sags a little bit too low. And maybe this one does too. I think I can move that up a little. So this needs to like come and pinch a bit more near the ear, I think. And I think this, I just gotta be careful. Because I think there is meant to be another edge loop here, like on this part, which I haven't got. So I'll see what I can do without it, and then if I do need it, I'll add it in. Am I gonna do the poly once the base is done? I don't know, what do you mean by that? Oh, up the poly count? Oh, no. No, I wouldn't. That would ruin the topology a lot. Yeah, that would, yeah. So, look, and I'll explain why. Because... let me just find it. Sorry, if I don't read every chat message, I apologize. I just... There's a lot of you. There's more of you here than normal, so I need my live stream training. I got to do my live stream course to be a pro streamer. Where's the body? There we go. So yeah, with the body, this is actually substantially higher in poly count than 2 weeks ago, and I think I still have the model from 2 weeks ago in place. Also, you'll see me touch this little thing in the bottom corner, and you'll see Blender freeze for a moment. This is actually a plugin I found that records time lapses in Blender without me using OBS. So if you see me do that, there's this little button, that's what I'm doing. Because then what I can do, I've got cameras set up inside this scene that are filming this model from a few different angles, and I'm going to use that for my devlog. And it's so nice because it just exports them as images, like as frames instead of as a video, and it saves so much space. So that's handy. If you get a time-lapse plugin for Blender, if you're planning on making videos, don't use OBS. It's such a waste of space. Let me find the low poly, because I haven't shown this yet, because I know this probably doesn't look that remarkable at the moment. No, there's one that's even lower poly than that. I don't know if I still got it in here. I should do. Well, I've got the face. So that was the face last week. That's the face now. So that's kind of, it's already quite high poly. And this was the butt. This is the whole body. So so let's compare the two. So I was a little bit like, as I've been modeling this, I was kind of expecting I would go faster, but I'm also learning way more than I thought I would. So I guess that's a fun trade-off, I suppose. But what I didn't notice was just how much more detail I was able to do. Because to me, without the wireframe, it looks similar. And it's like, oh, I can't believe it's been 2 weeks and it still looks like this. But then you look at the wireframe and it's like, oh, there's so much more detail now. And it actually kind of helps with the poses. Like you can see with the shading, the shadows are much more intricate now. Because that's kind of mostly the point for a lot of this detail, is to get the right shapes and shadows going on. So you can see the old one now looks so much blockier. Like it looks so blocky in comparison to the new one. And it comes down to the poses too. And I'll show you how the poses, I should be able to compare the two, I think. Because I've noticed that as I've been posing the model now, a lot of those modeled contours are starting to pay off. So you'll see in the thumbnail of this stream, I did a bit of experimenting with that. But if I get her rig, because I'll just show you, I just want to like demonstrate why I'm not going to touch and increase the poly count after this, after I do everything, because it's just gonna, oh. Okay, I don't know if I can I? Okay, they're overlapping. Both the models are overlapping at the moment. Let me pick a better pose. Yeah, let's do this one. So I'll do the... where's the... Okay, so I've got the face in there still, but just ignore it. Just focus on the... where's the... Yep. So there's the low poly. And I'll turn on the outline. Oh, I thought I had an outline. Solidify. I just want to add because the outline is really where this comes in. I thought I had it on this one, but I don't for whatever reason. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's massive. That's better. So you'll see it's kind of very blocky on the old, especially around the knees there. You can see it's very kind of PS2 looking. And you can see there's some issues, some skinning problems too, but don't worry about that. But if you look at, everything looks kind of undefined. You look at the knee, there isn't like a visible kneecap. The arms don't really look like they have musculature at all. It looks very plain, but then you look at it with the increased poly count from the extra modeling I did, and I don't know why the head's gone missing. Why is the head missing? Gabi, no! Oh, here we go. So you can see with the higher poly one, you can see there's a lot more definition. Like her shoulder has like, you see those little bits where the line goes in? That's what I'm talking about, right? And if I look at the arm from this angle, rotate the light a bit, you can see that there's that line coming in from the arm. There's that line there, which is like brilliant. I love that that's there because it looks like a drawing when you get those in. And you can see with the knee in particular, if I rotate it at this angle, you can see that the what is it called? Not the tricep. I for the life of me can't remember the name of this muscle, but the back of not the thigh, but the one below it. You know the one. This bit. You see how it's like curving in and creating this nice sharp line, and then the kneecap is sort of poking into this cool shape. So that's what all of that extra poly count is doing. But if I try and add more to this, it's not really going to be like necessary, and it's just like, because then there's like the normal editing, which we haven't gotten to yet. And that's going to make things difficult if I add more polys. And then there's the skinning too, because I actually found that sometimes having less edge loops, like in the knee, there's actually a lot less edge loops here than the old knee. And I find that that's actually better for weight paints, is having less polys. So no, so the long answer, that's the long answer. The short answer is no, I'm not going to increase the poly count. But I hope that's like comprehensive of an answer. Because yeah, sometimes more poly count isn't good. Sometimes it's not what you want. It's not always good having more polys. Sometimes having less is better. So you can see if I like bend the knee, it like, if I had more edge loops, that would be worse. Like it would go all rubbery and weird if I had more. And in fact, the Arc System Works do have a talk on rigging, which is where I learned how to like model the joints like that. And they do have an example, because they talk about like rookie errors, which I used to make all the time. And one of them is like adding more edge loops to joints, and they actually have this really funny picture of what happens when you do that. It's so funny. So let me just turn off the outline of these. Turn off the body. All right, so I'll get back to, I just want to get the head back open, but I want to show you that slide because it's so funny. It's on my other screen somewhere. So they have 3 talks which I've been looking at, and one of them is about weight paints. Yeah, here it is. Look at this. So that's like their demonstration of like low poly, because what they recommend to do, I think, is to like eliminate that edge and then just merge that up to the top, so then you don't get this happening where it goes inwards. Because I did get last week I got a comment on one of my posts showing the knees, and someone said, bro, you gotta add more edge loops. Like, add more edge loops. And it's like, alright, that's what'll happen if you do that. It literally doesn't change, like, it just makes it worse if you add more. So that's funny. I love that they show the actual example of that here. Because yeah, it isn't the amount of edge loops, it's where the edges go. That's the important bit. I don't know, I think they should have a picture of like a good example here somewhere. I don't know if they do. But yeah, I thought that was a funny comment. Because I used to, that's how I can weed out who the 3D modeling students are from that, because I used to make that mistake too. But yeah, there's slightly better weight paints here. And then they've, I don't know where, they'll have more somewhere, but that's just some examples of like, poly count high is not good all the time. Yeah, because this is literally the exact mistake I made with the last model. So literally exactly what I did. It was terrible. Anyway, so there's my little bit on poly count and why I won't be increasing it. What if you put edge loops on the entire model? Why? Why would I do that? The edge loop, there are edge loops already, and it works. It's fine. Do I still have a million tabs? No, shut up. Maybe I do. Don't worry though, don't worry about it. You don't have to see how many tabs I have open. Some of them I've had for like, it's a little embarrassing, but some of the tabs I've got have literally been there since last year. And I've just like, I'll read that someday, and then it's like, oh, I get too busy. But I still have that in my mental checklist of like, you gotta read this or something. Okay, I'm a little worried about this face because it's bending very funny. I'm not sure if that's how that should go. I think, yeah, something's wrong here. This shouldn't be coming down like that. I think I need... I think that's what I need. Oh no, that doesn't quite work, does it? Oh no, maybe I can figure this out still. Because, yeah, this face isn't... The way I've done it, it's gonna bend really weird, and I don't want that. I'm trying to think of a better way to do it. I think it's meant to go like this, I think. That's better. Yeah, because now it doesn't fold weirdly now. Yeah, that's more like it. All right, let's have a look at the bottom. So I'm just trying to find any questions. So remove the loop from the center of the bending point. Well, it depends. This is a question about the knee. I'll show you what I've done with mine. I try to just kind of, you have like some edges sort of going across the knee like that, and then it just sort of opens up and becomes this big gaping like massive pulleys on the back. That's kind of how I've tried to do it. There's still a few issues, but it's like working a lot better than my old ones. Anyway, if this modeling stuff has been helpful at all to you guys, please consider either becoming a member, where I post I have a Discord for my members where I've just like been posting my daily progress on the model, like sharing like work in progress screenshots of like the face being half finished and stuff. And you'll get to see more progress in between the streams. And it also helps me out so that I can make more videos. Just trying to think about this. I think this is actually not terrible, but I've got this other edge loop now that I just want to be careful with, because I'm looking at the references, and this edge loop goes up, not around. So that's curious. So I'll backtrack on this a little bit, because I do need that edge there, but I think the way I've got them connected is not correct. It looks like, oh, because this is what they do. They have it merging into the chin from this edge. So this doesn't go across, this goes that way. So I'll see what I can do about that. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. And I think they use this to shape the head a little as well. But they have it go like, they have that merged down there. And then there's this one, which I think this one is meant to... I don't know, actually. Oh, if I... wait a minute. No, something's not right. I'm just looking at this. They don't show how all of them go into the neck, but I'm just looking at the ones onto the sides there. And it's like... because it's like the flow of the edges of how they go. Because what they have is all of these faces from the ear, they all go up like that. But then I've got this loose one here. So this is kind of, just trying to think where that's meant to go. Because this also goes up on their one. Unless... if I can like just draw a line to that, that'd be brilliant. Oh, what's this? Oh, okay, no, that's just a shading glitch. I thought that was like... I thought this was, it's just because it's in an odd spot. I thought that was like disconnected. Oh, oops. So I just gotta think, this has to flow up, and so does this. But I've got... I think this is... no, that's not meant to be there. but somehow this is meant to lead up. So I think this has to come further forward, and so does this. And then this is where mine goes wrong. So I'll delete that face. Oh! I'll delete this face as well. Oh, wait, why is that not working? How's everyone's week been, by the way? How's everyone doing? General non-modeling question for once. Why does it have to flow up? Because it does. I would show the slides again and show the face shape, but that's gonna take too long. Just scrub back in the video. For like 10 minutes I was explaining the jaw and how that kind of affects the whole shape of the head. So there you go. There's a reason why. I just gotta be careful about how I'm using my edges. I think, let's try this. A lot of it, weirdly enough, as I've been doing this, it just feels like cable management a lot of the time, which is pretty fun because I do like cable management. Okay, I think that's yes, because I'm paying attention to this. Because the edge from the bottom of the ear goes forward into the chin. That's how all of their models do it, so that's how I'm gonna do it. And then they pinch these shut from the looks of it. They pinch, I think they do that. Yeah. And then they use this to kind of have that lower bit. And then they have these, oh wait, have I done that right? I think so. I think this comes forward a bit and this goes down. Yeah, so that has a nice curve going up. And then okay, well I had that face right then. Cool. That's a bit better. Because that, if you look at it from a different angle, you can kind of see now I can control more of the shape of this part now a bit easier. And I think it's supposed to look flat like that, I believe. Because yeah, that also looks, it kind of affects the side profile as well, like how the chin sort of goes. What model style are you referring to when I say they do for this model? I'm referring to Arc System Works and Guilty Gear and their techniques. That's essentially, I'm following their rule book. I'm like doing exactly what they do, because as I've been doing this, I've been coming to understand why they have a lot of the rules that they do. Like, they model everything very weirdly. Like, they have, you know, like for this, for instance, I've got these on my cheeks, these triangles. And my old 3D models didn't have that. For those that haven't really done a lot of 3D modeling, like, if you look at that, you'll be like, oh, well, just put like a face over it. Like, why is it all triangulated and weird? And there's a deliberate reason for that, to get this certain shading look. So that's, I'm trying to remember the last thing I learned that was like a massive breakthrough for me doing this technique. Well, yeah, like the chin, I guess like the whole chin bit, because this whole part with the blue lines I've outlined is so crucial to the face shape, because you got to get it looking right from the front, from the side, and then from this angle. And yeah, like the fact that the head shape is kind of like that and then back, that's not how I was thinking about it before I followed their rules. I was kind of doing things more round, but it looks worse that way for like shading reasons and everything. And then for the body, when I was doing the body, they have a lot of weird things with the body that I've tried to emulate, like with the fingers, for instance. And how, like, because I was always taught this rule that you never use tries, which is not a real rule, by the way. That's a completely urban myth, because I've used them here, and these will deform a lot better than my old fingers because of how I've done them. Like, I've been very deliberate with them. And these, I'm just taking from Arc System Works as example. And I didn't understand them all when I started, but as I've been doing it, it's all it's all starting to make sense. Because there's also texturing workflow that they've got that's very weird, but it achieves the look. Because the main point is that the reason I picked them as like a base to like use as reference is because their models, in my opinion, look like the best anime models in any game. like any 3D anime models. It's like the most convincing. And I really like the anime style, and I've always wanted to be able to pick up a game and look at the box art and have the actual game look like that. Because I always get so disappointed when I find a game and it's like, it's got this beautiful anime box art, and then I turn it over and it's some pixel art RPG Maker like shovelware, and it's I hate that feeling. So I always wanted to be able to have my game where it's like you turn it over and it actually looks like the box art. So that's why I like the style, and I'm looking at this studio because they seem to do it the best. But what I didn't know when I made Gabi's first model is that there is a lot of tricks, a lot of techniques, and a lot of like witchcraft and sorcery that you got to do to get it to look the right way. And I knew some of it. I'd researched some of it when I started Gabi's first model, but I've been doing way more research this time, and I learned a lot more about why I didn't quite get it right. So my goal is to essentially make an Arc System Works quality character, because I think that would just be cool. Like that would be pretty awesome. Like imagine looking at an indie game, a one-man team indie game, and it has like an Arc System Works quality character as the player. I just think it'd be pretty cool myself. Like if I saw a game that had that, that would like make me want to check it out. And a lot of this doing this game has just been me thinking, well, what would I think is cool? And then I just do that. And it's worked. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll just keep doing what I think is cool, and it'll just keep working, hopefully. So that's kind of, yeah, so that's why I'm using them, because to me, theirs look the best. And it's like, well, I'm not going to settle for anything less than the best, so I'm going to, you know, at least in terms of characters, because I feel very confident with my characters. When it comes to other parts of the project, I can't really afford to be that scrupulous, like my programming and stuff. Like, I get it well enough. I know there's probably flaws in it that could be changed and remedied, but I have to decide, well, what am I best at and what do I want to invest my effort into? And I really love characters, so I want to put in my... I reckon that is probably more deserving of my effort, because that's kind of my main... That's my favorite bit. It's like my main thing. Okay, so I'm paying attention to these edges from different angles, because you can kind of see that depending on what angle you look at, it kind of affects. So I think the issue is that this needs to come out more, this blue line, because I should be able to look at it, and you can see from this angle, you can kind of see it looks a little, you can see it kind of curving odd, like it divots inwards, and it shouldn't. This should be covering that. It should be going like this, except I've moved it the wrong way. It should be coming out like that. So I just got to make sure I do that. And yeah, so the face in particular, by the way, they have a lot of very complex. I've showed some of the slides that I've been researching on the stream, and it is complicated. Like a lot of the rules that they do are very like weird. So I've just been kind of like trying it and learning as I go. And like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it's already looking better than the old one, so it's a win in my book anyway. Like, I probably won't get it perfect the way they do, because I'm not Arc System Works, obviously. So I'm probably gonna... It's not gonna be as good, most likely, because I'm not Jun Motorola, or whatever his name was. But it's better than my old one, so it's like, hell yeah, that's cool. So I just want to move this in more. So yeah, you can see it now, right? Now you've got this nice curve from this angle. Except I think this needs to come a bit lower to hide that. It's got to come a little lower. Oh. All right. And then I'm looking at it from the side, looking at it from the... Yeah, okay, so when I look at it from the front, you can see there's... it's gonna come in a little. In fact, I'm just gonna, like, kind of adjust them from the wireframe to look a bit more natural. I'm just making them look smoother, because I think that'll probably be nice. Like this could probably come out a bit. It looks a little crooked. That's, it's just this. There's a big edge here that looks just a bit off. All right, that's. Just wondering, is that the best I can get it? Probably. I think I might just bring that out a little more. Because you want this, it's a bit hard to explain, but you want this kind of nice transition when you rotate the head, like on that neck bit, and I'm starting to get it now. It's looking a bit more how I want. I'll just like try and sort of adjust and straighten these lines to follow curves a bit nicer. All right, cool. So I'm pretty happy with that now, I think. Now the question is merging that with the neck, because I haven't done, like the neck is still the low poly neck. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so you can see the neck I haven't really put any effort into. So this is going to be where things get kind of tricky. Because, and this is an issue I've had with most of the model, because what I like to do is I like to work on bits in separate chunks. Like when I was doing the arm, for instance, I separated the shoulder and just did that on its own, and then I separated out the elbow, and then I did the hand, and then I merged it afterwards. And this is going to be one of those moments where it's bringing them together into one mesh, and this is where things get kind of like, you got to be kind of thoughtful and deliberate about it, because this is where you can, this is where it just gets a bit difficult, because you don't want things to affect the whole body. So what I might do is I might separate the bottom half and just see if I can merge that part of the neck with the head, and then we'll try and merge that with the body. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll separate this out. So if I add an edge loop, because I'm gonna have to add some, like, excuse me, like here, then it won't go to the rest of the body, because I wanna be very thoughtful about where it all goes. I don't want them just, because if I kept that merged, it's gonna like go down there, and then I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with it. So I want to keep it all localized, and then yeah, if I add one to the side, it's gonna go over the whole arm, which I don't want, because that is all, it all has to say exactly how as it is there. So we'll figure out what we can do. It's gonna be, this is like where the kind of problem solving part comes in. So I'm gonna separate that and just think about how we can combine all this. So let's start by just moving each of these to a corresponding edge loop. And you can start to see we've got some issues already, because there's a mismatched amount of edge loops, because we've got a few missing ones. So it's going to be a fun little game of how can I add more edge loops without screwing up the whole model. So that's going to be fun. I can already see here, I think I have a solution, because what Arc System Works do, they have the similar problem, and they address it by kind of merging them into tries at the shoulder line here. Like they kind of pinch them around here from the looks of it, and then they pinch them around the back. So that's how we're probably going to do it as well. But I just want to start by paying attention to like where the existing edges will go, like where these seem to will followed through these lines, and then thinking about where I can add some. So we'll need one there. Oh, and then we're gonna need some edge loop on this back part, which will be a bit tricky. We might, oh yeah, we might be able to create an edge loop connecting to this vertice. So that might solve that problem, which would be great. And then for the front's fine, it's just then the side, because we got to get an edge loop there to connect with this, and then one here. And then we're probably just going to merge those there, I reckon. So what I'll do, I'll just create the polygons for that on the head model. Actually, yeah, this is all one mesh, so I can just delete these. And then go in and yoink. Although, just thinking. I think that should go there. Or should it? I don't know. Maybe it won't matter. And then there's, yeah, so then there's this back bit, which, yeah, this actually wasn't too difficult, because all I would need to do... I know that there is a way to delete faces without deleting the vertice. I thought there was, anyway. Oh, yeah, there we go. Well, can I delete this without deleting those two vertices? Only faces. There we go. Perfect. And we'll delete that edge. And then we'll bring that down. And then I'll smooth it over a bit. So that kind of connects to the, what is it called? The shoulder blade. So it's gonna look, yeah, it's gonna look a bit wonky. So we're gonna make sure we move that into position. Yeah, that's very wonky. Oh yeah, I heard I just saw in chat someone saying that anyone who's a fan of movement games, Titanfall 2 is playable again. Yes, I've been playing a little bit of it lately, because that's kind of a miracle that it's back, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, one thing I've been trying to work on though, this is just a bug I've been trying to deal with in the background, is that some of you may have noticed a problem with the wall run for Gabi, where when she's wall running, and if you try to wall run onto the same wall, there's like a problem sometimes where she doesn't grab it. And what that is, because that's technically on purpose, what that's meant to be is like a cooldown so that you don't spam the wall, except something about it doesn't feel quite right. So I've been studying Titanfall's, how they do it. And it's very weird. It's interesting and it's intuitive, but I don't quite understand how it works exactly. But essentially, it's something like you can wall run onto the same wall, but it's like relative to your character. It's or not quite. It's a bit strange, but it's essentially like if you have like two walls and you're like wall running on one and you like wall run, jump, and then try and wall run on the same one, it won't let you do it. But if you turn around in midair, it then will let you do it. Or it won't let you do it on that particular wall, but you can do it on the other side. So it isn't relative to the character. It's like relative to, I don't know, the vector of the last wall or something. But then that doesn't make sense, because what you can then do is if you have one wall and then one further down that's on the same side of the character, you can jump between them still, I think. So that's something I haven't quite worked out, because they have some little variable in there that's like, don't let us wall run if we're doing it from the same side or whatever. And it's very intuitive, like you don't even realize it. And that's cool, because that's what I want. But I, for the life of me, can't understand what the mechanism is for theirs to like tell you to, oh, like, you know, don't wall run yet, or do wall run. Like it's very peculiar the way they have it, but it's the best I've seen, because it doesn't feel like you don't notice it, which is kind of the point. And there's a overlapping face. I knew there was something off. Can I select it? Oh, it's just an edge. It's just one overlapping edge. That's very interesting. Okay, that's gone. Cool. All right, so I'm just looking at the flow of the edges. I think we're gonna we'll just add some edge loops and like change up the neck a bit, because it's looking very rigid. And it doesn't look round enough, I'm finding. So we'll fix that. So we'll bring some of this in a bit. Make it look more natural. But yeah, I know that maybe it's a source engine thing. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly interesting the way that they do the wall run state in terms of when you can perform it if you've been near a wall recently or something. Game Wizard says, never thought of it, but it's likely a mix between raycasting and having hitboxes. I don't think they have hitboxes on runnable surfaces. That would be very expensive to do it that way. I'm in terms of the actual wall run mechanism, it's probably casting. Or source equivalent, whatever the source equivalent is. It wouldn't be marking a wall, putting a trigger volume on a wall. That's kind of like what, that's what the gimmicky wall run games do, I find. Like, I played a little bit of like, what is it? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and they have wall running, but it isn't like my wall running. It's like you can only do it on bespoke walls, and I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I should be able to do this everywhere, but I can't. So those studio, like in that game, that maybe would be the kind of game where it's like they mark a wall as rideable, or yeah. Or they have a special prefabbed wall, because I've noticed that they all like have this specific model that they use for runnable walls, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just like I just can't. I can't do it. I need to be able to do it on every wall. Okay, let me just weld. I haven't welded all these verts. So I'm just trying to like get the neck to like look not bad. To look a bit more like, because yeah, this, it's like the curvature, it doesn't look right to me yet. I think maybe this could come down a bit. Am I gonna add any details? Asks Waluigi. It depends on what you mean by details, and depends on where. When I get to the costume of the character, there's a few more details on the costume which have been added after I did the first model, which I'm gonna put in this one. And that's going to be like the gloves and the headphones. And I want to look into adding kneecaps to the armor, because that's been bothering me for a long time. And I think with the better topology now, I might be able to actually pull it off. With like kneecaps that don't look bad. Actually, there should be a smooth vertices. There we go. Oh, that's much nicer. Okay. That looks pretty alright. Oh, except she's got a massive hole in her neck. No, that's not good. Let's fix that, shall we? And I think that'll be the neck. I just gotta... Come on. Oh, I need absolute grid snap. There we go. Much better. And then that has to be welded. Oh. It's still bending. Oh, there we go. That's okay. Let's have a look at it from the back. Okay, there's still one edge that's like, oh, come on. Yes. All right. That should be, yes. And now she has a neck. Cool. We might be able to merge this all together now, but we might keep them separate, because I've noticed that with Arc System Works' models, they actually keep the head and the costume separate. So, well, I know why they do that for the head. They do that for the head because they have multiple head models that they'll switch between. I'm not going to have that in my one, so we might just merge it. I'm gonna leave the eyes separate because I'm not... I want to come back to those. I'm not happy with this yet. But with this part and this part, let's join them. And then we'll go and, like, just weld these together. All right. Okay, that is all combined. Pretty cool. Awesome. Now, what was I going to do next? I think it was the hair I was going to look at. Let's have a look. Because I have like a test model, which I'm now starting to see. Now that I've added more detail, I'm starting to see some flaws with the proportions of like the hair and stuff, and the eyes. Because there's a few challenges. One of the challenges is the fact that her hair is like obstructing her eyes, and that's going to require two things to fix. It's going to require like the hair being adjusted a little, and I think the eyes, I haven't really been that happy with where the eyes are sitting. I think they might need to come a bit lower and closer in so that they aren't covered. But the eyes could be tricky because I don't want to ruin the topology of everything yet. That might be something I'd try later. I think it might be a bit easier to just do the hair and everything, like just to get the hair kind of going, and then I'll try and imagine where the eyes are. And yeah, because I just gotta think. Because the thing is with the eyes, because I do want to adjust the shape a little bit, because I've tried to match it to the drawing as close as possible. But I don't know, there's something kind of dead. Like it looks too default. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it lacks personality. So I wanted to try with the eye shape, kind of exaggerating the curvature more and then moving them down. But that's gonna get real messy, and that might not be fun to watch. So I think we'll just try and do the hair, get just the topology going, just get a start on it, and then maybe that might influence what I do with the eyes, because I think I've been looking at the eyes a bit too long. So I gotta do something else, and then I might be able to have a fresh outlook on the eyes. But before we get into that though, you can kind of see already with the topology, like with how deliberate I've been trying to be about it. Like all the little moving each vertice around. Because what it'll end up doing is this cool thing where the shadows, even without me adjusting the normals, are kind of falling into the right spot for, like, broadly speaking. Like, it's not perfect still. Like, the mouth is going to need some work, and the nose and the eye. But you can see that having that shadow on the side of the face, the fact that that's already there, that's pretty cool. That it kind of sticks around the jaw and, like, follows exactly where I've modeled it, which is why the vertices need to be in specific spots. Like, when I say that this edge loop has to be this shape, a lot of it is so that not only is it the right shape in the geometry, but so that the lighting will follow the right contours. And you can kind of see it's not quite there yet, but we've got a little bit of that Rembrandt triangle happening, or a Rembrandt blob, I should say, going on underneath the eye. But if I go and adjust the normals, I'll probably be able to get a better result. But I want to do that after, at a later stage with the normals. Let's get to the hair. So what I've done at the moment is that I've just added another material just for the hairline. So this isn't going to be the colors, obviously, but this is just where the hair needs to cover, is like this area. So, and what I've done, so I've got the test mesh, but this is actually a combined version of these curves that I had made. So these are all splines that I can like move around, and that's how I wanted to try it out. So what I'll do, I'll make copies of these so I don't ruin what I had. And I'm gonna have to make some adjustments because you can see some of this is kind of covering her eyes too much. So this will need to come a bit lower. Oh. Like that, and then I'll have to push, because I don't want it covering her face too much, like from the side. Like, the mistake I made on my last model is that you can't see her face from the side at all because of the hair, which is not good. But if I can do this a little better, maybe I can, because I want to be able to see that face from the side. Now, there are some adjustments. Trying to remember where they were. Where you can change like the width of these. Ah, there we go. So that might, I'll make that a bit thinner. Move it back a little bit. I think I want that to be a bit longer at the front. Or not, I'm not sure. Because yeah, the hair shape is it's really important. Like that's kind of what makes the character. It's like the haircut in this case. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like just adjust the outline, which I'm kind of liking this better already now that I've just made a few adjustments. I'll get the ear in too, because that's gonna affect the shape. So yeah, you can see with the where's the old one? You can see the old one compared to the new one. I've kind of made it a bit curvier now. Where's the ear? I had her ear somewhere. Ah, oh, that's not it. Oh, where did I put it? Ah, there we go. Because yeah, that silhouette is going to be important. So what the plan is, I don't know how far we'll get, but the plan is that I block it with splines, and then I'm going to convert this. I'm going to like add some detail. Like I'm going to like add some subdivisions to all these, and then we're going to turn it into a mesh. And then what we're going to do, well, I'm also going to have to change where the hairline is. That might be a bit tricky, but I want to get the shape going with the splines. So with the splines, I'm probably going to move all this to the side because she's got like a side part. Her part doesn't go down the middle, it goes down the side. So once I get that in, I'll then subdivide. And this is the only time I'm going to be using subdivide because it's splines. And then what I'm going to do after it's subdivided and converted to a mesh, what I'm going to do is, like, for the whole top half, I'm going to just combine it into a big bowl. And then it's going to split off at the ends. And I'll show you why I want to do that. So we'll get the old model open, and I'll show you why I'm going to do it that way and why I don't want to do it the way I had done it with the old model. Am I going to remove the human ears? Yes. That's just there so that when I make other humanoids later, then those humanoids will have ears. Gabi does not have humanoid ears, so I'm going to take those off when the time comes. But yeah, the general principle I try to follow is, like, make everything as generic as possible and then mold it into something specialized. So yeah, at the moment it's still... The hair is kind of going to be a separate object, but this whole bit here is kind of just base humanoid, which with the haircut and the ear and cutting off her human ears and maybe some adjustments to the eyes, that will then become Gabi. And then the tail, of course, which I do have somewhere. There we go. So that's what the tail will end up like. I'm not... okay, you guys can tell me, because this will be kind of helpful to know. I've tried to make it so that the tail is coming out from the right place now, because the old model, it sticks out at a very weird spot, because I didn't actually plan on having the tail there initially until after I had started the model. So that's the old tail. It's coming out from there. And then the new... Oh, where's the new tail? Yeah, so there's the new tail. Does that look still off, or is that fine? You guys tell me if that still looks off to you, having it come out from there. What if those claws are unlock at some point to get a wall climb? Well, I think I did make her some sharp fingernails. Might be able to use those, yeah, for she's got fingers that are like done better now. Because what I was saying, I think it was like on last stream, I can't remember. But one of the reasons I wanted to have the fingers put a lot of effort into them is because I want to be able to emote the fingers. Because I think the pose of the hands really affects the whole pose. So what I should be able to do now, because I've done the hands easy, like I haven't posed them weirdly and modeled them weirdly, because of how I've got them now, I should be able to, like, as she's doing a climb, I should be able to like move and animate the hands a lot easier now, and to make them like just look better. So I'm excited for that. That's gonna be really fun. Way better? Cool. Yeah, I guess it would depend on the clothes. Well, I do have the armor from the old model, and I've made an adjustment. This is, I want to, because I have to re-UV map this bit, and I might need to adjust the shoes to fit her new proportions, and I've got to add kneecaps. So this armor is just copied from the old model, but I might need to do some adjustments to it still. But this is just to, you know, roughly estimate how it'll look. This is sort of how it'll go. So I've moved that bottom piece to above her tail, whereas the old piece was below her tail, which I can see now was never going to work. Yeah. So let me turn off this modifier and I'll rotate the light. So that's, yeah, so I've moved that, I don't know what you'd call that piece, but I've moved it above the tail now. Because I can't really fit it underneath there now, can I? So I don't know, you tell me what, because if it looks off now, it's probably better that I know now while I still haven't, I can still save it, you know? I can still save it. For realism could be higher, really? Interesting. That's not what I was expecting to hear. Yeah, so I was thinking to maybe put it lower to continue it with the spine, but I don't know, I feel like there's a point where it's getting a bit too low, you know what I mean? I don't know. What do you reckon of that? Is that too low? Or is it that, like where I had it? So we have it like lower, or like that? Actually, that might be a bit too low. Like kind of there, maybe. Yeah, too low. All right, yeah. I'll put it back. Maybe I had it right the whole time. Cool. All right, well, that's good to know. I'm probably going to combine that later on once I get the face and everything sorted out. But yeah, anyway. Let's get to the hair. Yeah, thanks for the tips. All right, well, the hair's looking a bit better already. So the trick now is, I'm gonna have to get some reference. I need to look at Gabi. All right. Oh, what do you know? I have reference right here. Check out the sticker sheet on link down below, projecthealing.com/shop. So I'm gonna use the sticker sheet for my reference real quick. Oh man, maybe I might need something higher res. I'm just looking at where her hair part is. I haven't drawn it from the back before, actually, so that might be a bit tricky. Well, I was going to show you the old model. That's right. I'm going to show you the old one and what's wrong with it, besides the tail. So this was her haircut on the old model, and you can see she's got the side part. But what I don't like is how goddamn high poly and spiky. I don't like it. It's just unkempt, and I don't dig it. I tried, but this was like my first attempt at anime hair, so there's some error. You can see that there's like a lot of unnecessary edge loops, and it's not smooth. It's very like pointy. I think people were, I remember when I made the model first and put it in the game, I think some people were saying that like, oh, is it meant to look low poly or something? And I'm like, no, it's not meant to look low poly. It's meant to look like anime hair, and it doesn't. So what I want to avoid, because this was all done by hand, which never again. So this was all modeled by hand, all this. And you can see there's just too much going on. There's like spikes coming out everywhere. There's just too much bezels going on. So I want to not have that and make it smooth, like a bowl. And then have like little strands coming from the bottom. And I have changed up her haircut a little bit as well. So let me go and find a higher res reference, because I've got one here somewhere. So that's kind of the general shape. So I've made it a bit bobbier, like there's more volume at the bottom and it kind of bulges down. Like that's kind of what I've tried to do. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to leave that open on one of my screens. Look, I like messy hair too, but it doesn't look good in the game, okay? And in fact, well, I'll show you how it looks in game. Because you got to remember that the character's like this big. So let's go look at it in game. And, well, because I do have a previous version of this model in the test map, which we can compare it with. And I want to show you what's going on with it. So I'm just going to open the editor real quick and show you. So let me just save my progress here. I'm just gonna wait for Unreal to open. And then when it's animated, because I weight painted the hair too, and it was so painful. It was, oh my god, like, while that opens, I hope it's opening. Okay, maybe now it's opening. But I added bones to the hair, guys. I weight painted all of this stuff, and it was a waste of time because I didn't realize that I could avoid having to weight paint all this by just making it, like, simpler. If only. Well, now I know, right? Now I have a chance to make it right. But I tried to add, like, wind animations to her hair in some of the animations, but then I kind of gave up and did it for only 2 of them, and then stopped doing them for the rest, because it was just a lot. Because look at the amount of layers. Like, she's got a lot of layers, and it's just kind of, like, a bit of a mess. Like, it's like, I didn't really think it through, you know? Because I didn't know how hard that would be to animate, but now I know. Oh, it opened the editor twice. Alright. Let's see how this looks like. I mean, you guys probably have seen it in-game quite a bit, but I want to show you against the new hair in engine. So in this, because this is, you're going to be looking at it from this angle a lot. And what I don't like is just it's just not a pleasant, clear, oh, my pop filter came off. Uh-oh. Sorry. ASMR moment. But it's just a bit much. Like, there's just a bit too much going on. Because it's a bit easier to look at in-game because she's animated and it's got the lighting and the textures and everything. And then in motion, it just looks too much detail to me. Now, I think there is a side-by-side of the old and an older version of the new model off on the map here somewhere, so I'll go and find that. And yeah, I can't wait to do new animations. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, so this is the comparison just with the silhouette of, like, the model from, like, a few weeks ago to the... And you can see it has a much nicer shape now. Like, it's smooth. And that's just with the splines. And that's how I want it. I want it to look kind of like that, but, you know, a bit more detailed, obviously. So you can see it's not as detailed. I might have to thin the outline a bit as well. And here it's just much. It's just going everywhere. So that's... And you look at it from, like, this angle. Like, if we go and change... I want to show you how I want it to look. Because I can make the player model... I can change the player model to be the new in-progress one. I think it's suit test 2, I believe. Yeah. Oh, not quite. No, that's not it. Suit test 1. That's it. Yeah. So that it's a bit scuff. It's a bit not much going on, but you can see just the head shape because that's in the middle of the screen. Very important that it looks good, right? And if I look at it against the shadow, you can see it's a lot more symmetrical and a lot just nice. It's just smooth. So that's what I want to get. That's the idea. And it really kind of makes a difference. Like, I know it's kind of hard to show in Blender, but when you look at it in context in the game, I don't know, it tends to make sense to me when I look at it in game. Like, I see it and I can move the camera around and it's the same camera as the game camera. It kind of, yeah, I can kind of see, like, okay, what shape do I need? And yeah, so that's how it should look rounder. That's the idea. So I'm not going to do any of these Spike Goku stuff. None of that, because this, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look as bad in Blender, but then you look at it in game and it's just like, ah. So this is a bit better. So anyway, challenge is now getting the side part. Now, you guys can fill me in on this, but I've heard rumors that apparently side parts are cringe now, and I don't know what's going on there. I heard the Gen Zs don't like them too much. They say that side part is cringe, you want middle part, but I don't know. Gabi's got the side part. What can I say? But I don't know. Is that a real thing? Is that the current war being fought? I just hear whispers. I just hear little pieces and nuggets of info here and there. 2005. Well, 2005 was a great year. Why is that a bad thing? 2005 was awesome. Freaking, what was going on in 2005? The Xbox 360 came out. We had, trying to think what games were coming out. Yeah, Ratchet Deadlock came out in 2005. Shadow the Hedgehog came out in 2005. It was a great year. It was like the edgiest year in video games. And I mean, like, think about it. This is why I love 2005 in particular, is, it's the fact that, like, all of the edgy, like, games came out then. Like, yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog, Ratchet Deadlock, all of your favorite kids franchises. I want to say Jak 3, but I think that might have been 2004. But yeah, all your favorite, like, kids franchises decided to just go the dark side for no reason, all in 2004 to 2005. And I don't know, I just thought it was funny. Probably market trends or research led that, but it's just funny. It was, yeah, see, 3D with Lard knows what's up. It was a great year. 2005 was lit. Maybe, that might be tricky to have a diagonal part. I don't know, we'll see. The thing is that I'm trying to work out is because it's got a mirror model. Okay, so what I'll have to do, I need to make these not mirrored. Or separate, if you know what I mean. So I have to get rid of mirror and make copies so that I can adjust them without it being symmetrical. Because I just did the symmetry with the middle part just because it was easy to rough out, but now that I'm gonna make it a bit more real, it's gotta be a bit better, you know? So I just gotta think. Scale negative, oh, not like that. Scale X -1. Oh, wait, what? That actually mirrors perfectly. Do I have to move it at all? Oh no, the position is at 0. Okay, that's cool. All right. I just have to copy these and mirror the scale on the X. And then, yeah, so 2005 was, like, edgy, and then 2006 and 7 comes along, and then the Wii's there, and then everything's very bright and bubbly and cool. Like, it was an interesting time. It kind of went to one end of the spectrum to the other. But then I guess in 2006 and 7, like, Gears of War was coming out and stuff, so maybe there was still the edginess had just moved on to those. And then, like, the cool, fun, not edgy vibes, like the epic vibes, the Wii vibes were coming around. Well, I guess they were there with the DS in 2005. The DS had that kind of energy to it. The DS... what are they? I'm trying to remember the models of DS's. I remember the DS Lite was my favorite looking one. It looked like the coolest gadget ever. Okay, so I've got one of the side part bits here. And now we've got... oh, I gotta mirror this one. Oh, whoa, 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 look at that strand of hair. That's pretty big. That's better. All right. Now we should be able to get cracking on these. So I'm just gonna, like... can I... actually, can I select all of these and edit them at the same time? Looks like I can. Epic. So let's... can I just select all... oh, okay, this will be a bit tricky. Okay, let's start with one side. Oh no, I don't want that one. I want... oh, no, I don't want that one. I want this. There we go. Oh, because they're overlapping, it's going to be a pain to... I just want one side. I just want the one side. Ugh. I just want the one side. Oh goodness. Okay, okay. Well, let's just move them all one at a time. All right. Gabi is now embracing the Gen Z. Well, yeah, I haven't really thought about canonic, like, in time when Project Feline is set. The way I think of it is, it's set in, like, 2008, but of, like, what people thought the future would look like in 2008. That's kind of, like, how I sort of picture it. Because I thought... that's like when, you know, like those Utopia memes where it's like the world if thing didn't exist and it's like this beautiful like green city with trees everywhere. That's like those were like very popular in like 2008, I remember. Like that vibe was like very prolific. And that's one of my favorite vibes ever. it's like that kind of Windows Vista energy. So that's kind of the world I'm thinking Feline sort of takes place in. It's like it all happens inside the Windows Vista operating system. It all happens inside the DS menu. Now this, I'm starting to see issues with the side part now, and why this might be a bit tricky to pull off. Because it needs to look symmetrical with the volume, but that there's a side part. So I'm just, this strand at the back might be kind of difficult. Maybe I'll leave, maybe it will come up to like the middle near the back. Can I like, oh, wait, did I not do, hold, no, let me redo. I'm just gonna make another, because I think I'll leave the back ones the same and leave them symmetrical. And I'll just like have the part kind of converge at the back, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. This is gonna require a bit of trial and error, this, because I haven't done hair this way before with splines, but it is a lot easier than the way I used to do it. So that's cool. But the trick is gonna be getting the shape, because it's really, that's the important bit. It's the shape of everything. It's gonna make or break this model. If everything else can be fine, but if the hair is wrong, then that's like red alert. That's bad. Well, that's gonna kind of defeat the whole point of the model if we can't get the haircut on fleek. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Just look at my it's just hard because the reference I have drawn, she's like in motion and her hair's going all flying. So I'm gonna have to find some more reference, because this is literally all I'm doing at the moment. I'm just using that. So let me go and look for other drawings that I have. I had some open. I thought I had some open on one of these tabs, on one of these many hundreds of tabs. Wait a minute. Oh, so there's this one. Is there any more? I think that there's that. I think that was all the Gabi tabs I had open. But I've kind of changed her hairstyle a little, like it's all slightly different in each of these anyway, but I've been doing, there's another picture I gotta find. It's just because I haven't drawn it from a lot of angles, so it's a bit tricky. Because yeah, this is from the front. I'll leave this open on my other window. Just move those over. Oh. Because yeah, I always draw it slightly differently. But yeah, I kind of just, my main thing was just sort of seeing it, because it really depends on how it looks in 3D, I guess. Oh yeah, we got some clipping there. Because I want like the bottom half to be symmetrical, but I just want it to kind of come up a bit to the side. It's just a little hard, you know? It's a bit hard to tell with... Because there needs to be a bit more volume at the top. There needs to be more of a... It needs to come out more. It's very flat. I've tried to, yeah, there should be like a radius I could change. Oh, not like that. No, 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 no. Oh, how do I get that to, oh, if I change the offset to 0. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna try and change the, there's a certain, it's not scale. Scale doesn't do it, it's some other thing. It's not this either. Oh, oops. me change that back. There's a certain keybind that lets you like thicken and thin these bits, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. It's some key where it's like you can scale up and fatten up bits of it. I'm just trying to... I know there's a button in the menu for it somewhere. Depth? No, I think I just did that one. Or maybe it is. Oh, okay, no, not quite. I just wanted to do that one bit. I just can't remember the... It's not scale, because scale doesn't thicken it. It's some other thing. Oh, what was it? Third from the bottom left. Third from the bottom left. Oh. Oh, Alt-S. That was it. Thanks. Thanks, guys. That's it. Yes. Okay, well, I didn't want to increase the radius, but... Oh, no, I think what I have to do... I think I do have to increase the depth, I think, a little. That's it. To make it a bit thicker. But I don't want it that thick. I'll just do just a little thicker. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Just add some volume. And then we'll Alt-S this. This probably will be something I'll have to do in the model. Unless... Oh, wait a minute. Let's try something. Okay, I have an idea. I have an idea. I might move and add just another one of these strands. That might help. Although it adds a lot of edge loops, but we're gonna kind of re-topologize all of this anyway. But yeah, I just want that kind of... Yeah, you see how it's got this curve now? Like above the head? That's what I want. That's the shape I want. And then like, well, can I like rotate it down? Oh! Like it'll come in like that, and then this will kind of go... I just gotta be careful of the shape. Can I like move these? Oh, I can't move these individually, can I? I can scale them individually. Because it looks a little... It bunches up a bit. There we go. If I just move that down, maybe. Yeah. It's just because there's a lot of more edge loops on that part. Because you can't... I don't think you can change the amount of edge loops per point, but that's fine. I just want to get the shape. So I want to try and rough that out with the splines before I go in and start doing stuff, just so that I can be confident that this is the shape I want. So what's the... I'll add 0.505 to the thickness. So I'll tell you a little story about the hair and the splines. Because what I was initially going to do with this model was that I was going to make it with Vroid. That was the original plan, because I thought it would be quicker and it, you know, it'd shortcut it, right? But then I opened it and tried stuff out a bit, and I wasn't too happy with, I don't know, it just wasn't the look. It's anime, but not, it's like what's the game? It's like VR chat. It just looks like VR chat, and it's like, well, I don't want my game to look like VR chat, so I decided against it. But one of the appealing tools that kept getting recommended to me was the hair tool, where it, like, the advertised thing was that, oh, you can draw hair. And I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So I was really worried when I decided not to use Vroid that I wouldn't get to do spline-based hair. But then I realized Blender has spline tools, and I was like, oh, well, problem solved. So I guess I didn't miss out after all. And that's my story of Vroid, me trying Vroid. But yeah, if I had done it with Vroid, admittedly, it would probably be done by now, but it wouldn't look like this. It would look... You'd play the game and you'd be like, oh, this is like VR chat, and then I'd have a tantrum because that's not how I want it to look. But yeah, so it's kind of funny that one of the appealing features is something that Blender has, which is very nice. I think I need to... It's just like getting the... It's like twisting. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I can rotate it like that. Cool. Because then I'm gonna have like some little bits coming out, but I don't want to make them too big. I just want to have like 1 or 2 strands coming out of this back corner where the hair kind of spirals. So I just want to like map that out so I know where it is. Okay, this is starting to... I can start to see where there might be issues now with like this sort of clipping in. Guess if I make that bigger, might solve it. But I want these, like from the bottom down, I want these to be like the same, so I don't want to mess that too much. Or can I should be able to select these both, I think, and then scale both of these. Yes. Okay, now it's sitting a bit better. And I'll see what I can do about this. Oh. So what I'm trying to also get is that that little divot shape. I want to get that and be able to see it from the silhouette. I know the model topology is not going to look like this, but I think if I get the shapes in the right spot, just with splines, because it's very low detail at the start. It's very low detail, so I want to think it out a bit more, get more of the defining shapes going, and then make a decision on if it needs to get changed or not. So this might be a little tedious, but it's gonna save headaches later. Because what would be terrible is if I just started going in and modeling like the final topology, and then I realized that it looks bad, like the shape is bad, and then it's like, oh no. Because that's what happened with the old model, and I kind of just had to leave it because it was too late at that point. So I've been making an effort to be a lot more thoughtful with a lot of these choices and planning things out, you know? So I'm really paying attention to like this sort of curve going on. Non-symmetrical back could work if the silhouette is the same? It could do. That's what I'm hoping to find out once I get the rest of this all in place. Because yeah, I'm just thinking about like the broad strokes. Because what I didn't do last time is that I just started going in full detail, and that was a mistake because I don't know. I find that it's really easy to what's the word? Like precognition is a lot easier to do when you have this sort of roughing kind of going on, like the blocking. I just don't know if that's too many edge loops there. Because then I gotta think, where is this gonna connect? And I gotta make sure that it actually doesn't go above the hairline. Because now that I've got a hairline modeled in, that's also gonna help me out. Because I think with the old model, the hairline was like too low or something, and it covered too much of the face. This time it might be too high, but we'll see how we do. I just wanna... this is a tight fit though. Let me hide some of that. Because yeah, now I gotta think, well, how is this? So this should probably connect there, and then I gotta think, well, all right, well, how is this gonna? See, that's kind of actually that's kind of cool because I could have like a cool thing where the hair kind of goes up, kind of like what's the android from Dragon Ball? Because she has that little thing. I'm trying to remember I don't know the name. I'm just gonna show you a picture of what I mean. We can try it. I'm not sure if I'll do it, but I think it's Android 17. I want to say. Oh, I think it is, yeah. Where they have like that little piece. I'm not sure we'll do that, but we could try it just on the corner, maybe. And it also just kind of helps me think where the hair is coming from, and I can make it look more like a haircut, hopefully. Or it might sag down. We'll see. That's the cool thing, is that if we rough it out, we can make those choices without putting in too much effort. We can, like, decide, oh, okay, well, how do I like this? And then I can like just test it in a free environment without having to like redo stuff too much. So you can see this is coming together a bit nicer now. I know it's not perfect, but it's something. Android 18. That was the, yeah. 17, 18, I don't know. It's one number difference, but they have the same haircut anyway, so it's whatever. Just minus the receding hairline. Yeah, well that's the other thing we got to make sure of too. Is that she doesn't go bald. We don't want her having cat pattern baldness. That'd be not good. Then she'll have to do a brand deal with one of those hair clinics, and that we don't want that. You can see there's a bit of like, it like curves kind of weirdly there. I wonder if I can fix that. Maybe not. Oh, maybe so. Oh, maybe not. Because yeah, if I do it at too much, I don't like that shape. I like it when it kind of, it like clumps up like that. Yes, that's kind of, that's sort of how it's going there. Just don't know how well that'll work on this side. Wait, can I move that? Oh yeah, because if I move that over, then it kind of creates issues on the other side. So I'll move it over a little, but not too much. What I might do as well, once I get the shape going, I'll see if I can import it into Unreal and just look at it. Because I'm probably going to need to just look at it in-game to like get a real sense of it. And I do like doing that. That's kind of where, that's like the fun parts where I get to import it. But we'll give that a go before I go into detail, because I want to make sure that it looks right in-game. Because that's ultimately, it's what it's for. It's got to look right in-game. If it doesn't look right in-game, there's no point. It's just, I'm not sure how the back bit's going to go there. It's going to be kind of... Or maybe I can... Well, I'm going to finish the front, and then I'll think about the back. Because the front is also kind of... You got to be kind of careful as well. Because I've had difficulties with the front. So you can see here, we have a tactical option available. Oh, let me shrink that down. It's way too big. So we've got a tactical option, because we could leave it like this, where she doesn't have a fringe, like it's all kind of off to the side. But I'm not too sure if yeah, no, that does, and yeah, you can see her hairline. So yeah, because she's got like the she's got sort of like a bit coming in front. So that's gonna be a kind of tricky. I'm not sure how we'll do that, but we'll figure it out. Which, by the way, I'm gonna keep plugging these because I gotta sell stickers. Go check out, linked in description, the Gabi sticker sheet. If you want Gabi in your home or on your laptop or wherever you like putting stickers. You can put them, if you could put them on a mug and get a Gabi mug by only paying for a sticker, which is a cool life hack. So you can try that out. Linked down below. So I'm going to be using this as my reference so I can keep plugging these. But she's got like this sort of, I think I had a strand of hair for that. We'll see if I can recycle it. Because yeah, this is like where, this is like important, this part. Also, where does it ship from? I think the US, I'm pretty sure. Probably, most likely the US. I'm like 90% sure it's the US. Because I know most of you are in the US. I don't think I know I know a grand total of one person, oh sorry, 2 people in my country that probably know me. So I doubt there's anyone from Australia here right now. I don't know how to pronounce your username, but your username is a triangle. But Triangle says he likes the fringe. Why, thank you. I will say I've been jealous of Gabi's haircut for a while because it looks cool. Me, I've got the ramen hair, so I will never attain style like Gabi. I'll never have drip. What I might do too, I want to make this a different material. I'm not going to do the texturing for a while still, because I'm going to have to do the normals and whatever. But I want to like make these a color, because I think looking at it in gray is just hard. I gotta see it in color, so I can kind of judge the volume and contrast and stuff. So I'm gonna make. Hopefully, I can just make a material. Can I like duplicate? I'm gonna duplicate this. I don't know if I can use a texture, because the material has to be, it's got to have textures, but I might be able to recolor it, hopefully. I don't know if it'll let me. Because I wrote this shader ages ago, and I do not remember for the life of me how it works. Okay, there's one of these in here should let me do the color. I just don't know where. One of these things should let me change the color. I just gotta figure it out. Just bear with me. Color space. I don't know what any of this does. Okay, maybe it won't let me do that. I think it has to use, like, textures? Or not, I don't know. Because yeah, this was Gabi's shader and it's all texture aligned, so I don't know if it lets me recolor it, because I wrote this years ago, so I honestly don't remember. But if I change this to like a purple texture, is it gonna let me do it? I don't know. What if I change it to that? Oh, it seems to not do it for whatever reason. Huh. No matter what I change it to, it's still gray. That's... Oh, one of them's changed? Okay. Well, let's see if I can change just using the base... I want to use... Oh, here we go. Yes, I found it. Epic. So let's make it Gabi's... I'm gonna rough it. I can't remember the exact hex value. But let's... Oh, does it not let me do it to all of them at once? Oh, no. Okay, well, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get some color going. Now, this isn't how I'm gonna do the actual textures, so don't freak out. This is just for test purposes, because I gotta see this in color. By the way, with those stickers, you'll notice, while we're on the topic of colors, you'll notice that some of this artwork is a bit older, but it's been recolored, because I've actually changed her palette up a little bit. So her skin isn't as pale anymore, her hair is more saturated, and her costume is more vibrant. So, some of you might have this sticker, but it's the old version. But if you want the new version, check it out, link down below. With the correct... lore accurate colors. Maybe I gotta have like two distinguishing characters. I gotta have Dev Gabi and then lore accurate Gabi. And what I'll do while I'm here, I will select... I'm gonna select like the eyebrows and everything, and I'm gonna make this the same shade. Just because I want to, so I can see the wireframe easier, because it's really hard to see it on black. Black on black wireframe is hard to see, go figure. So I'm gonna select that and sort that out. Oh. There's like one vertice behind the ear. I think that's all of them. Yep. Let's make it pink. Where did I put it? Yeah, that's right. Oh no, that's the wrong... Oops. No, I didn't... No, not... No. The wrong one. Why is it... No! That's not it. It's selected. I've got those ones selected. Oh no, because I have to do this. Okay, no, I got what I did wrong. I understand now. I gotta create a new slot. Yes, there we go. And we'll do the eyebrows. Yeah, that's right. So her roots are pink, her eyebrows are pink, her tail is pink. That's, yep. That's none of that hair dye fake stuff. This is all natural. Okay, that's looking a bit... The pink is not a great pink, though. That's a very dull... That's not the... It's something's off. It's so washed out. Oh my goodness. It looks fine in like the little color swatch, but my goodness, it is so washed out in the editor for whatever reason. I don't know why. It shouldn't look that washed out. God damn. The brightest I go, it's still so gray. Okay, well that's probably... No, I think I know why. It's because of the shadow map is gray. I have no shadow map. So if I change the tint of the shadow map, I don't know if that'll do anything. Because I have a texture for the shadows to color them. That's probably why it looks bad. But I can't seem to find the color swatch for that one. Is it this? No, I already did that one. Okay, I don't know. We'll just have to put up with it looking pale, I guess, for the moment until I fix the shader. And I've just noticed that the forehead is not symmetrical. So let's fix that. She's got her forehead's a bit crooked. In fact, I don't know if I can just select everything down the middle and just straighten it, because it is slightly crooked and it's bothering me now. Oh. Okay, that's better. Oh. All right, now in color. Let's go. And you know what? I'll do her eyes as well, because that's bothering me. I gotta, because it'll help her look less dead, hopefully. So let's make another copy of this, and we'll change the, I think it's this color? Yes, we'll make it blue. And my goodness, it is washed out. Okay, that'll do. Alright, that'll look a bit better now. I'm gonna leave the skin alone because it doesn't matter, but I just want to get sort of her key features in there. So, the hair's coming along, I guess. It looks a little, if I take the ear off, it does look a little off on that side, like it looks a little flat, so I want to fix that up a little bit. Because I think it should still look good without the ear. That's kind of my game theory. Because yeah, this part looks a bit overextended. So if I kind of move that more to the middle, just so it looks a bit more balanced, I'm vibing that. And then this is coming up a little too high. Or maybe not. Maybe it's got to come across. Because I want there to be a bit of volume on the top there, just to kind of balance it out. Okay, maybe this does need to come out a bit more. Yeah, it's a bit easier to judge now with the color. It's a lot easier to judge. Let's like rotate the... So you can even see, like, the shadows are already a lot simpler on this compared to the old one. Like, if I rotate the shadows, you can see that it follows clearer lines, which is good. Eventually, though, it'll be even cleaner once I sort out the topology. I'm not so happy about the side profile. Something doesn't look quite right. It looks, I don't know how to word it, but it looks, from the side, it looks, the volume looks a bit too heavy around the back. It should look a bit, I think the apex of like the hair should be this bit where it comes up the highest, and then it should start tapering at the back. I think that's why it looks a bit strange. So we'll make some adjustments. And then this should come up a bit higher. Like that. It's a bit better. And then I think maybe this... I don't know how... Okay, this should come forward a little bit. Or more precisely, these should come a bit forward. Because I want that to be... I don't want that being covered up from the side. So maybe, I don't know, I might have to thin some of it out. Oh! But I'm really trying to maintain the symmetry too, so... Because it... Okay, yeah, it's gone a bit off now, but the... Okay, the angle. Something about the angle of this whole thing. There we go, it needs to come out like, it's got to be a bit more angled. And it has to also not, it has to come down. And then, yeah, because I want like for the side, so I want this to be at the rightmost area is this part. So it has this nice kind of curvature going down like that. Although that's a bit too thick. We'll get back to the front because I'm gonna have to like look at that again because the front is gonna be a bit. I just gotta think about how I want to do the front. Okay, well it's covering her hairline, so that's good at least. I just don't know if it should come down because I want to make a few of these, but I don't want it coming down too much. So I'll make a few copies of this. To get like a nice sort of thing going on. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet, by the way. I'm just kind of in concentrate mood. Could I move them both? Well, for the back, maybe. But I want to come back to that a bit later. I haven't quite made up my mind on what I want there yet, I don't think. So I'm just going to think about that in the background and just try and get some front action going. That side, this particular part on the side has always been a pain to draw. So I'm just trying to work out like what would be like a good, like this strand has always been a big pain. And I'd like for the front to come out a bit more like that. I wanted to add another, but I don't know if that is going to be too much. Well, let's try. I think if I just thin that a bit, move that kind of over. I want to add another one of these, but sort of have it go like that. Because I want this to kind of stick out like that way. But not too much. But this has to then kind of, it sort of comes over from here. Yeah, I haven't really thought about how this would look from the top, so it's kind of interesting to figure out. Because I'm starting to see some issues now. So I'll hide this for the moment. Because maybe I won't need that one. because this kind of has to, I don't know how I can get that to rotate to the way out, because it sort of has to face forward. I can almost get it. Man, I don't know why it's like not rotating some of these. Like, it rotates them on one axis, but it doesn't twist them. Maybe there's a separate thing for that. Let me have a look. Is there like a twist, like a mount? I don't know. Because I'd like to just sort of have it facing, like, sitting at a different angle slightly, but I can't seem to get that. I also, because what I'm also thinking is that the hair strands are not going to be that long around most of this. Like I'm trying to draw them out like they are, just so that I can kind of see where they go. But the idea is that they're going to get kind of merged and combined a lot. So let me move this around. Because what I'm thinking is, that's a bit better. But this, like, starting from, like, there, it's gonna all be, like, merged into one strand. Like this, that whole bit, if you know what I mean. Kind of like in the drawing, how it's all very, it, like, splits at the ends, but then you get further up and it's, like, all one thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I'm just trying to think, like, what strands make sense to get the flow, because they should all follow a shape. I'm liking this. This is looking a bit more... It's kind of how I want now. It's just the question's going to be like, how far down do I want the fringe, or do I want it going across like that? Because I do have them going slightly differently in each one. I think that one I'll have going a bit more further down. Because the mistake I made a little with the old model is that her fringe was a bit too long and it would cover her eyes too much. So I think I want to have it where it kind of pinches at like this point just above the eyelash. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm starting to see some problems now with the shape at the top. It looks a bit lopsided. So I'm gonna have to like take some volume off there. It needs to... Oh, that's a tricky spot, because it's gotta, needs more volume there, I think. Oh, there we go. That's the shape. Yep. Because it kind of takes there, and then it kind of sort of slides down. Like that. Let's get it with color. Oh. Let's look at it without wireframe for a second. Let's get the ear back. Well, I've got one of the strands missing, like on the side, but I might be able to... Might not need it. But I can start to see where the eyes kind of, because it's the whole face, the proportions are just a little bit, they're just a little not right. They don't look exactly like the drawing, and I think it's just the eye placement mainly. So I'm trying to ignore that for the moment and just focus on the hair and like ignore, because they're a little too high and they're a little too far. They may be a little too small as well. If I look at it from out here. Let's look at it with the costume on. Yeah, the eyes are going to be a little closer together and a bit down, I think. I want to change up the shape too, but I don't want to like I don't want to get stuck on stream on that. So what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm just going to move there's a tool. Trying to remember the name. Proportional edit. I'm just going to proportional edit these and move them, because it's just looking... It looks a bit like a me, a little. Like it was made in the me editor. That's the vibe. That's kind of how it feels. And it's like, I don't want that. So I'm going to select the vertices around the eye, including the eyelid. and I'm just gonna like proportional edit it and just move it across. Just to, I want to like do more to it later, but just as like a, just to fix some, just the basic proportional issues. So I'm just gonna select the bits around the eye. The bits that need to kind of stay together. I reckon that's probably... yeah. Alright, let's proportional edit. I'm gonna have to turn off these at the moment. And I'll turn off back face culling so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, maybe I'll leave it on actually, it's a bit easier to see. So with proportional edit, I can like, it sort of like pinches things around. So I want to move them down. Oh, not like that. So I'm just adjusting the proportions to look to my liking. To kind of match with the hair. It's kind of funny how much the character changes by just scaling the eyes. I don't know if that's too... I think it's a little too narrow. What if I make it taller like that? Oh, okay, that's very, very anime. I think... move those closer. It's just very delicate, because I don't want to ruin it, but I didn't like how it looked. Because, yeah, it's a bit too high. Alright, I think that's okay. So the eyes are now, because I didn't join them, and I want to redo them anyway, so the eyes are now not going to be in the right spot. But we'll just move them to, like, roughly where they would be. They're not going to touch perfectly, but I'll fix those up later. I'll probably have to make them a bit bigger as well, actually. Well, let's type in a number so I can make these both the same size. Or I can just... because I wanna have these mirrored, because these are separate objects. If I just do scale and then times 1.1, and then kind of move that. If I move these like up, and move one of these across, and then just copy the X coordinate, and then paste the positive coordinate in there. Okay, that'll do for now. Okay, that's... well, her expression is like a bit not what I want, but I think I should be able to fix that by just taking the top and just pinching it up a little. There we go. That's a bit better. It's a bit more like what I want. Still not exactly, but it's like the best I can do at the moment. I'll have to look more into this a bit later. I'll just move it so that the eyes aren't clipping. Okay. So, yeah, because you can see the hair now looks a little different now that I've moved the eyes a bit, so I'm just trying to get a balance going. And I'm just looking at, like, all my drawings of Gabi, and I'm trying to kind of get a feel for what size everything should be. It's just still kind of hard to tell, because you can't really see the mouth that well yet, and, yeah, it's difficult to tell. I guess it'll depend on how it all ends up looking in Engine, or if I turn the outline on. And once I do them, yeah, I guess it'll depend. It's going to be kind of tricky to figure that out. I don't know why her eyelashes are pink when I turn the thing on. That's a bit strange. But it's better. Still not exactly, but it's better. Anyway, let's get back to the hair. Sorry, I've just been in like focus mode. I've been very quiet. Why did I decide to remake the model? That is a big question. I'll try and put it simply as I can. So the old model has a lot of issues, and if you've looked at my footage, I don't know, maybe you can't tell. I don't know. I know some people can, but they can look at the model and they can see that there's something like slightly off about it. Like I still get like feedback quite often on the model where I show gameplay on Twitter or something, and people will say that it like looks a bit jank. And usually like I can kind of, it doesn't bother me that it's like people don't like it. The thing that bothers me is the fact that like that reaction could affect if people decide to check it out or not, and that's very important. So my priority is like, all right, well, from it, people are going to have their subjective opinions, but they are kind of right. It does look a little off, like the old model did. Like the old model did look jank, and that's something I've been wanting to address for a while. And there's also a lot of people will say it's the animations, but it's not quite. It's partly it, but not quite. It's a bit more complicated, which is why I've gone and redone the whole model, because there's a lot of like beginner errors I made, a lot of badly thought decisions, a lot of topology problems, and essentially the rundown comes to how the old model can't be posed very well, because if you try to pose it, it'll like the vertices will just kind of go whack. The eyes will clip into the head or something like that. And I've tried to fix those, but I just can't because of the way it was modeled. Like there is a certain extent which weight paints just can't fix things. And I learned that the hard way. So I thought, well, I need to do new animations anyway because I want to make her more acrobatic. I've changed her costume design slightly and I want to implement that in. And I think I could do better than what I had. So for those three reasons, I thought, I'm going to redo it. I wouldn't normally redo stuff. I try to avoid redoing stuff a lot. But considering this is like the main character that is always on screen, that is going to be in a lot of the promotional material, it's like, all right, well, this is the first thing a random person is going to see. So it has to be freaking great. Otherwise, it's just going to be average and no one will look at it. So that's kind of how I think. Because what I want to do, I'm not going to... Look, I don't know if I'm going to make a great game. I don't know if it's going to be great. I won't know until it's finished. But I know that the character is a very important part of the experience. And if the character isn't great, then that kind of reflects on the whole game. I think people believe that, but they won't tell me that. But I think that's what people think. That's what I think anyway. Like... You know how there's the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? I think that's rubbish. I think you absolutely should judge it by its cover. Because most of the time, you're kind of right. If you're like, you know, if you have good judgments. Like if you're pretty good at judging stuff, which are, you know, a fair few people are, usually their judgments are good enough where they can trust their first instinct. That's not always true, but I look at it from me as a consumer. If I think about how I pay attention to stuff, because I'm very critical and I avoid lots of things. Like I am very hard to please. So I reckon if I can make this good enough where I am pleased with it, then that should be fine. Like if it's to the standard where I think it's off, then other people are going to think it's off, and that's not good, because then it's like, well, that's like someone now that won't check out the game. And people will do that. If something like the character model, which is important, but you know, it isn't the whole experience, right? Like some people might cope it and say like, oh, well, that's just the character model. Like you should still try it. I think there's so many options. There's so many games to play now. No one's going to bother. Like everyone's they're going to have that first impression. And if they aren't impressed, there's so many other things to do. Like they're not going to give it a chance. So that's what this is kind of about. And the reason why I think people wouldn't give this a chance is because, yeah, the old model does look jank. And you could probably judge, like, well, if the model looks jank, then the rest of the game will be jank. That might sound unfair, but I think it isn't that unfair. Because in my case, this isn't for every game, just in my game, because the entire experience is built around the character, if I don't do this, if I don't redo it, and if I don't make it exceptional, what that says to people, they won't know that it says this, but what that says is it's saying that, oh, he was careless enough to, like, not make this great. Like, the character model, which is, like, an important asset. Like, if he was willing to cheap out and skip on that, like, is it really going to be a great game then if he skipped out on this? Like, that's what I would think if I was looking at my game for the first time. If I saw that the character was animated wrong or something, even though it's a minor thing and it doesn't represent the whole game, but it should represent the whole game. And if that isn't done right, it's like, well, he doesn't have attention to detail. He's probably skipped a lot of other things. And I probably have, but the point is, you gotta get it, because what you're selling isn't the game. You're selling, like, a promise that you will have fun. And you need to make the promise a convincing promise. And that's why I think the character model... this is just for me, for my game. This won't be the same for everyone's game. Not everyone has... You know, some people have a first-person game where this won't apply. But in my case, it does apply. And that's why I really want to make this great, because if people look at it, because what I think will happen is they'll see that the character model's great, and they'll kind of assume that the rest of it is too, because it's like, well, he got that bit right. Because it's my belief, I don't know if everyone believes this, maybe they do on, like, without realizing it, but I tend to judge people a lot based on how they do small stuff. And this has worked really well for me. If I look at someone, and if they can't do something as simple as name a file, then they're hopeless at everything else. And that isn't me making up a story, like, that actually happened. I was working with someone, I had them do all these tools and stuff in this work, and I went and checked on it afterwards and found that all the files were named wrong. And I was like, oh no. If you can't do that, that means there's going to be more problems. And sure enough, there were lots of more problems later. And it's all about the small stuff. I think how you do the small stuff is how you do everything. And the character might seem kind of small in the grand scheme of things. Maybe not to me. To me, the character's huge. But I think to most people, the character might not seem like a huge deal, maybe, because it's just one piece. But it's representative. And it's like, if you do your best at that, it's kind of safe, because what you have to do is you have to, like, convince people that it's like, yes, this is worth your time and you should care about this thing. That's kind of the fight that every indie dev has. And if what they present to you, if it gives off the impression that it's, like, low budget and rushed and, like, jank, then no one's gonna take you seriously, I don't think. That's been my experience anyway. So that's kind of what it's about. Eliminating jank, making a strong impression. And what better way to do it for my game than the character? And that's why, you know, a lot of this has taken a bit of time, but I've also learned a lot. But, you know, just getting the haircut right. Like, if you have this game that you want people to buy, but the hair is, like, wrong, like, you can't even do a good haircut on the character, you know, what does that say about your ability to do everything else, right? Like, it can, you know, it might, like, obviously everything's very nuanced, but you have, like, 15 seconds for those people to make those snap judgments, and you have to, like, win against the judgments that people are gonna make. And that isn't coming from, like, a place of insecurity. It's coming from a place of, like, winning them over. Like, winning this, I don't know. I guess that's what marketing is, I suppose. That's kind of why trailers exist. So it's, I don't know. It's like that kind of thing where it's gotta look... It's gotta, like, draw attention. Because I do a reasonably good job of that at the moment, but I think I could do a better job. And this is the way I think I could be doing it. And that will be good, because once this is done, I can make better footage, I can post them online, they get more attention because it looks less jank. I get, you know, maybe some more people looking that are excited about it, more wish lists, convert to potentially more sales, and hopefully it'll all be worthwhile and it won't be a commercial failure. And that's kind of the idea. I also just happen to love doing characters too, so that's I figured if I'm going to put in effort to make this look better, it's got to be in the character for me. Anyway, so I've been rambling a bit. I'm trying to think of when I should put this in engine, and I'm thinking I might do it soon because I'm a bit stuck on what to do. There is like one strand of hair I want to add to this side, and then I want to put it in engine to have a look because I'm going a little crazy looking at this in a vacuum in Blender. I gotta see it in game. So I've got this strand of hair, and this, I don't know how this will go. I think this needs to come a bit forward, maybe? But yeah, to me, like, that impression is very important. I'm assuming that that everyone is going to be as judgmental as me, and I reckon that's a safe standard to hold it to. Oh, thanks, Ron. Appreciate the kind comment. Just hire Bethesda for that sweet marketing? Hell yeah. I haven't checked out Starfield yet, but apparently it came out. I've just been busy, so I haven't really... I've kind of... I don't know, I do not follow games at all. It sounds weird. I'm a game developer, but I really don't care about most of what's coming out. I want my game to come out. Like, that's the only thing I'm excited for, is just Project Feline. I really couldn't care about, like, everything else. But I am curious, like, how Starfield went. I'm probably not going to play it, but I know a few guys that worked on it, and I can imagine they're probably quite tired. YouTube explodes. Apparently it came out. Well, I don't know. I don't follow this stuff. Literally, yeah, the only reason I know is because, like, my friend Steve, like, just posted it on Facebook, and he's like, after 4 or 5 years, we finished Starfield. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And I left a like, and then I didn't really think about it. And then I just remembered now that someone said Bethesda, that it's, like, out. And I'm like, oh yeah, that did come out, didn't it? Ron M says, could not agree more about paying attention to the details. Well, yeah, like, look, I will say you can go too far. I do sometimes. But I think in this case, for the character, for the main asset, the hero asset of the whole game, the brand, not even just the game, the brand. Because remember, let me show you something, actually. I'm going to open a Photoshop file, and I want to show you another compelling reason. And this will help, because I got to give my eyes a little rest from looking at the hair. But I want to show you something that this model also is good for. Now, I think I might have said this last stream, but when I was growing up, I always loved looking at, like, promo art for not just games, just in general. Like, I would love looking at ads, looking at logos, looking at renders, and that's kind of been a big part of my branding, you could probably tell. Like, I put Gabi on every thumbnail. I put her in, like, the header image and everything. This is the thumbnail for the stream. And you can see I put her in here too, right? And from the render, this is just with the gray on, you can see all the lines and stuff. And you might be able to catch on to what my plan is. Because my plan with this model, because I'm putting in a lot of work, I put in a lot of work into the model detail of, like, the joints and everything. And a lot of that players probably won't notice in game, but they will notice it on promo art, which is another goal for this model. Because if you look at my channel, you look at the YouTube header image, you look at my thumbnails, they all have Gabi in it, but they're all drawings that I had to make. And that took so long. Like, this this drawing this is a drawing, this isn't the model. This took 2 days, which is, like, a long time. I would love it if it took 20 minutes, which it could if I had just the model to use instead for these renders. And that's the idea. That's what Arc System Works does for their character select screen and their promo art, is that it's all... Actually, I have an example of that here. So this is, like, what I'm aiming for with this too. So this is, like, using the Guilty Gear Strive models, I think. And this isn't a drawing, this is a 3D model. And imagine if I had a model of this quality that I could use for my thumbnails, for the Steam page, for the Twitter, for the website, for the box art even. Imagine if I could just use and pose the model instead of having to draw it by hand and spend 2 days drawing each new render by hand. That's also a big plus. And I could do that with the old model, but the old model is so jank that it doesn't really, I can't pull it off. It just looks off, and you can kind of tell that it's like, oh, this is a 3D model. This one is a lot better. You know, this is a lot more, what's the word? Well, if you look at it zoomed out, you can't tell. And that's the idea. And I could probably do touch-ups. Like if I were to draw over it, it would look even more convincing, right? So that's another variable at play here. Because promo art, this isn't the case for everyone. Like some people have different things that work. Like if you're making a racing game with cars, this might not be as big a deal. Like you can just have one thing of the car and just use that over and over. Or a first-person shooter or something, you wouldn't worry about this stuff. But for me, the character is the brand, and that is like an important part of everything. So not only does it have to look good in the game, but it has to look good not in the game too. It has to look good wherever I market it. And that's why I really want it to look as convincing of a drawing as it can, because that'll save me time drawing thumbnails later. Like even, yeah, like this is just me using the unfinished model for a thumbnail, and it already looks like not terrible. Like if you zoomed it out fully, and if I painted over some of the shading glitches, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that it was a model. If I like just touched it up a bit, right? So imagine when it's finished. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Anyway, so I cannot think of what else to do with the hair. So I want to import this into Unreal and have a look at it in the engine, because I really need to just see. I need to see it so I can decide what to do, because I think I'm close, but something still doesn't quite. I don't know. There's something that I'm not fully confident in. I can't put my finger on what it is, but I need to look at this in game. So let's try that out, shall we? Now, because I want to maybe try some of the poses in Engine 2. So I don't remember how to export the poses, but I know that I'll have to like combine this. So I'm going to turn off my time lapse. Stylish is the word? Yes, that's right. You should make another devlog with once this is done. Yes, I have 2 devlogs that are almost finished. One of them is a bit shorter, but I might release it like in the next week. It's a very short one, and it's about something I was asked in live chat a few weeks ago. And then I've got another one about the combat, which is like 90% finished. And then I've got scripts for 2 more, which are in the works. So that's why the models been going a bit slower this week, because I've been kind of divvying up my time between videos and this. But I am taking notes and recording bits about this as well. I'm probably going to use clips of this stream in that video too, probably. Anyway, I just got to remember how to export. Well, yeah, so let me save, and then I got to like combine this. So I'll copy this and convert it to a mesh, and then I'll join it with the head. Is that everything? Okay. There should be a convert mesh, there we go, and then join. And then I'll go and hide these. And then I'm gonna export only visible, because I need to see how this looks in Engine, otherwise I'm gonna go crazy. I'll make a copy of the body so I want to just join it all in one bit, but I don't want to like mess things up. So I'm just gonna non-destructively combine these into one. So this is usually what I do when I'm just testing stuff out. So this is very messy, but it's gets the job done. So this is all... Oh, I can see I've a bit of a problem. I've got the symmetry modifier on, which I can't do. So I have to unjoin that. There we go. So I need to apply the symmetry modifier. And then I should be able to... I've just made copies of each piece, and just so I don't destroy... so I don't mess it up. So I've got a copy of the ear, copy of the tail, copy of the body, copy of the hair, and I don't have copies of the eyes. I'll make copies of those. And then we'll put it in the engine and just have a look, because I need to see this in engine. Okay, so that's all joined. Oh, the mouth isn't there. Oh well. I guess we don't need that bit. That's fine. I'll turn on the solidify modifier, and we'll give it the... Oh my goodness. Oh my lord. What's going on? What is going on? Okay, that's probably a material issue. Uh-huh. Okay, that's very funny. I don't know why it's being weird. Oh, it's only doing it to that one bit for some reason. If I add another solidify... Okay, it's only doing it to one side of it. That's weird. That's very weird. I'm gonna have to step back a few steps, because I don't know what is going on. Why the outline's glitching out, and it's changing Gabi's hair. That's very funny. It's probably like a material problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the solidify index to do material 2, material offset 2. These should not have any modifiers on them. I'll just get rid of, yeah. So I just want to combine this because it's going to be easier if it's combined and putting it in engine, because if I don't combine it, it'll import them all as separate meshes and it's just irritating. It'll be a hassle to then piece it together. So I want to combine a test version for Unreal and sort that before I take it over. So I'm just removing all the modifiers from everything so it doesn't screw up. Except for the body. Maybe if I recalculate normals, maybe that's what it's gotta... I don't know. Let's try now. So if I then join... Okay, now the hair's blue, but at least it's all the same color. At least. And the hair's still not acting right with the outline. Very peculiar. So that the outline of the hair is using like this weird, oh, almost. So now I've got the hair the hair's just got the outline. Oh, that's funny. If I select the hair, maybe if I just assign that all. Oh, wait, what have I just done? All right, now the outline's everywhere, but now the entire body is pink. All right, if that's how it's gonna be. Can I go back? I just wanna, I don't want to change the entire body's material. That's, yep. Oh, okay. Let me turn off that. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing. That's why I couldn't see some of the wireframe. All right. Let's sort them, because it's some material problem, probably. And the eyes have inverted normals, so that's funny. Let's fix that. Select linked, it should work, and then I should be able to, like, recalculate. There we go. Actually, let's just recalculate all the normals. I haven't done any custom normals yet, so thankfully we can just do that. Now for the hair... I don't know if it's gonna let me select the whole... Okay, I have to do it a strand at a time. Great. I just want to like make sure that I'm gonna like clear out the materials and just reassign them manually, because I reckon that'll probably work. That's my game theory anyway. All right. So we're gonna remove that. Oh, unable to remove in edit mode. Well, all right. So I'm going to assign. Okay, we've got something to go on. And then the eyes are like pitch black for some reason. So I'm just going to make the eyes just... I can't be bothered to make another material. Or hopefully if I add another, it shouldn't break. Oh, that didn't work. Assign. Okay, now, oh, it's just in shadow. Okay, it does work. Now the eyebrows have... Let's get those. Because I just want to see it in color and in engine, so I want to make sure that the materials... Because if I can't see the eyebrows, it's gonna throw off everything. It's gonna look kind of strange. Let's get... Oh, all right. Oh, I missed one. There we go. So let's... Can I assign that material without it breaking? Let's see. Oh, I missed one vertice. All right, cool. Material offset. Oh, okay, so it always screws up. The outline just won't work. Okay, well that's disappointing, but funny, I guess. I wish I understood why that was. Maybe if I move this to the bottom? Oh, that just makes it worse. Oh, kind of. Oh, okay, now it works. All right, cool. I just have to move it to the last position. Okay, I guess that's fine. Let's see how it looks. All right, well the colors are there, so that'll do. Can I get the... I'll get the ear to be the same color, because the ear is going to be that pink. But I want to get the inside to not be pink. So I should be able to just select some of those edge loops. And just make that the gray color. Cool. All right. Now we can export this, hopefully. Oh, I haven't... I just gotta make sure that the weights are all assigned on the head, so the head doesn't go flying when I pose it. So I'm just gonna select just the head, and we're gonna go to... I'm gonna do the old-fashioned, the manual spine 6 and just assign them all. And now if I pose the model, it should move the head. Dope sheet, action editor, test pose. All right, the head is moving. Oh, cool. All right, so I don't know if I'll be able to copy all the poses because I can't remember the settings for the life of me. I'll combine... I might as well do the suit as well. Join. Oh, no. Okay, no. Abort. We're not joining the suit. We could probably keep those separate. Because I think I did manage to get it with the suit as separate objects. So we'll see how we go. All right. Let's try exporting this. I don't remember the settings, but we'll figure it out. I'll leave the skeleton visible. And I'll turn off the mouth. Because I'm gonna just do like visible only. And I'm just gonna have the interior of the mouth not there for the moment. So if file, I'll save. Saving would be a good idea. File, export, FBX. This will be just Gabi test 3, I guess. Armature and mesh. Selected. I'll do visible objects. I think I have this set to Z. Oh, no, sorry. Y forward, I think. And then Z up. And then I'll do all, because I'm pretty sure I've got all the poses in like the non-linear. Do I? Yes, I do. So we'll do all NLA. So that should give me all the poses, hopefully. And yeah, that should do it. Unless there's something I'm missing. No, that should do it. All right, let's try it. I'll get Unreal open. Because yeah, I just got to see this in engine. Oh. Yeah, so I got the outline on the last index. Sorry, I missed a bunch of messages. Oh, Unreal does have a combined mesh option? Well, maybe it does, but I don't want to risk it, because every time I get told about something like that, it ends up breaking, and I have to figure out how to use it. So I don't know, maybe next time we'll try it. So I'm just chucking these all in the root folder, because I'm going to delete these all later, so I'm not going to bother organizing them yet. Let me just find it. Okay, test 3. Let's go. I'm very excited to see how this will look. All right. I think we can use the same skeleton. Let's just go import all. Please don't break. 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 No! Fail to merge bones. What is this? I haven't had this problem ever. Oh. Okay, let's cancel that. I think I just got it. I'll try it with a different skeleton. Because maybe I've changed it slightly. Yeah, no, let's try that again. Let's just create a new skeleton, because it's probably changed slightly. I really don't think it has, but if it's having issues, let's just go. Yeah, let's try that. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Please work. Come on, don't. Alright, okay, this is normal. No speeding groups. Yeah, I don't care. Let's go. Alright, well, we got all the poses. Yes! Cool. I just gotta find the model. And I gotta assign materials, because it's just gonna give me the grid material. And this is looking really cool in the editor with the detail. Alright, so... I think I've only got one material for the cell shader, so I might have to make some copies of this, just temporarily. So let's just assign everything, and then... there's a lot of slots. That's way more than I thought. Oh, that's for the armor. Okay, that's why. Okay, so it has combined. Okay, maybe I didn't need to combine it after all. Oh, no, I probably did. It's just because everything would have to have an armature modifier on it, which is a bit, I guess that's equally as irritating, I suppose. Cell outline. Oh, that must mean that one of these should be cell outline. There we go. Oh, it's like not really done it properly. It's like got the eyelashes. Oh, maybe, no, those are, I think, meant to be the same material anyway. All right. So let's real quick. This is going to be very sloppy, but I'm just trying to test it. So I'm going to delete all of this stuff later probably, but I'm just going to create like a copy of the cell shader and just change the color, which I should hopefully be able to do. So let's just change the base color to, let me think of a color. What color? Pink. And again, this isn't the right, this is probably not the correct shade of pink, but it's good enough. That's red. I just want to get it like there. It's very washed out. Wait, what's the difference between base? Oh, I should be using tint. That's what I should be using. So can I change this back? I think I'll just do them on both. It looks a bit dark, actually. So I should be able to lighten this a little. Okay, maybe I'll copy this for both so that it looks like saturated. I know that there is a purpose for these both, but it relies on the textures, so I don't have any textures yet. Now let's make a copy of that for the eyes. Her eyes are like kind of that color. Okay, that's pretty close. Oh, come back. There we go. And now I should be able to go... I think I still have a model open. There we go. And I think I... Oh. And I should be... I think I might... Let me check. There should be materials for the suit. And if it's UV'd the same, I should just be able to just add the suit textures already. I just gotta remember the names. Yeah, there we go. I think I'm not meant to use that one. I'm meant to use primary 2. And then tertiary 2. And then there's a... Yeah. So now we've got the suit colors in. Well, some of them anyway. All right. That should be good enough to chuck in and try. So if we chuck this into the game... Oh, come back. Yep. All right. That's not very well lit. Let's look at it. Oh, okay. That's a bit nicer. Let's add... I should be able to change her pose. Hell yeah. So you can see the weight paints are definitely not final. But I'm gonna copy that and paste that near the other test models I put in. So we can kind of see how this has been progressing. Oh, it's all the way over there. Come over here. Huh. Let me just, can I just like copy and copy that? All right. So we got some T-posing going on. I'm gonna like rotate all of them to face towards the sun. Or no, I think because when I hit play mode, the shade it's just the shader, because I haven't made it so that it reacts to sunlight, which I'm gonna get to. Don't freak out. Oh, why is there a big thing on my screen? Oh, because there was a mission active. Sorry, my bad. I just want to go and stare at them in 3D space, and then I'll try and assign the model. But I just want to see them all next to each other. So yeah, now the light will face that way, which is the right way. And the hair, like the shape is still pretty close, even though it's not symmetrical. Like it's not as symmetrical now. I'm not so sure about the front. I think I want to give it a bit more volume. And then that bit on the side as well. Because it needs a bit more going on, I think. Let's try making Gabi making it the player model. So we can look at it sort of in context. So yeah, no animations yet, but that's sort of in terms of the shape, and the colors are still very off, but at least it's kind of approximate, right? So already the face is looking sharper than the old model. Like the eyes are much more defined. It doesn't look as messy, which is good. If we zoom in a little, not too close, but just a bit. I'm just looking at the head shape across the side. I'm liking where the hair's sitting in terms of the... I'm just not... It's just the front. I'm just not... It's just something about it. I'm just not so sure of... I can't put my finger on what it is. But I'm actually not so... I'm pretty happy with everything else though. So that's kind of surprising. I thought it would look worse. Oh, sorry, I had chat paused. I didn't see you. Oh, yeah. Wait, is it F8? Oh, that's... I'm using a different keybind. But yeah, this is like depossess, and it like pauses the whole game. Oh, it doesn't pause the whole game. Okay, that's interesting. It sort of... Oh, it like makes it so that you can move objects and stuff. I want to look at this in a level. So we'll see how this looks. Yeah, it's just the fringe shape. It's like it doesn't look like the right shape. I think I get what you mean. Oh, hey Phil, sorry, I've missed a bunch of messages. Hey Phil, man, yes, I do stream when I can. I don't stream like consistently through the whole year, but I stream when there's like a chunk of interesting work. So I just want to look at this sort of in the context of an environment. Because, I don't know, when I look at it in the level, it just looks different to me. So I'm trying to just like be, I don't know, just see it in context, I guess. Let's give her a pose, because it does look kind of awkward with her T-posing. Let's, what pose should we give her? We've got a lot to choose from. We've got her yoga pose. Oh, that's funny. The stretch yoga pose. That'd be a fun... If I could use that in an idol, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Let's pick. Well, let's like look at it. Oh, no. No, go back. Go back. Yep. I'm thinking maybe just doing the hands on hips pose to like test around with. I've got the hands in hoodie pockets pose, but she has no hoodie yet, so that looks a bit weird. The backflip pose. Well, yeah, I am kind of surprised with how clear the face looks, because it does look very distinct compared to models prior. Also, why is it not letting me pick? The animations have all vanished. No, I don't want shadow. I don't want that. I want the... Give me Gabi's animations. Oh, there we go. Let me just have a look through the poses. Well, also, here's a fun little... I just noticed this. I didn't notice this before. But that extra topology from the low poly, like, all that extra model detail, because this is the first time I'm seeing it in engine. So that was the very low detail version. I don't know if I can, like, show you the wireframe. Show flag wire... Okay, that doesn't do anything. Is there a way to show the wireframe? I'm sure that there is. There has to be. Oh, here we... Oh, okay, well, that's not quite what I had in mind, but that'll do, I guess. You can see how lower detail it is. It's just all very boxy. Then this is with all the new detail. You can see how much more detailed it is. And it's gray, so with flat colors, probably can't notice it. But then you look close at her back. Look at the back on this one. What I might have a similar pose that I can use. Okay, that's not the same pose, but it's similar. But you can see her, what are they called? Her shoulder blades are actually there in the shadows. Like, you can see it following it, which it doesn't do. And you can see her elbow has a crease. Her shoulders have like a little crease on them. So when I was doing all this last week, that's kind of what all of that was about. It was so that even though it's small, if you look at it in game, you can start to see those details adding up now. Where it's like her body looks like it has, you know, form and like musculature and all that. Can I pick a similar? Yeah, that's a similar enough pose. You can see that. Well, her body's a lot smoother. It isn't as blocky. She has an elbow that actually kind of sticks out where it's meant to. Like, you can see there, the elbow's sort of sticking out. Whereas the old one, it's just like kind of not really there. The knees, she has no kneecaps in the old one. Then there's the even older one, which is even worse, but we're not gonna talk about her today. But yeah, that's where all that model detail goes. It doesn't look like a lot when it's all in the gray box. all one color, but when you start seeing it in the line work, it kind of starts showing. Anyway, let's have a look through some of these poses. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite poses. Wow, her head is really stretched. Okay, I found some problems with the rig at least. So her head is like stretched for some reason. You've got this pose. I might, yeah, look at like the shoulder blades coming in there. That's pretty cool. So I might try that pose on the character and put it in an environment and see. What number is that? It's number 3. Oh no, sorry, number 7. Pose number 7. Okay. So if I travel, so I've got her arms folded now, just to give it, you know, just something that isn't a T-pose. One thing I love, Ziggly says, one thing I love about the Guilty Gear models, you can see the anatomy. Yeah, I guess you can. But yeah, so this, like, imagine, we just gotta use our imaginations here a bit, but imagine her, like, breathing with her arms folded, having some animation to her with her tail kind of swinging about. That's kind of what I'm trying to picture. And I'm thinking, does it look off? Like, does the hair look off? Does the proportions look off? Is the head too big? Is it too small? Are the hips... I think the hips need to be a bit wider now that I'm looking at it. I'm just looking at kind of everything while it's in context. I know we're focusing on the hair, but I'm just making little mental notes that I can tell that there's issues with the hips and like the glutes, is that they're like not really that well defined. So I might need to like... I don't know, they're not the right shape. I gotta change those up a little bit. But the front looks alright. I know the hands, maybe they're a little too big. Maybe. I might have to shrink the hands just a teeny bit. But yeah, this is, I don't know what it is, but when I look at it in context, I see things I couldn't see in Blender. I don't know why, but it's just sort of how it is. I don't know, maybe there's a reason for it. Let's go look at it in a different part of the level. So check this out. Gabi's just sliding around like a boss. Ignore the tutorial text, that's all temporary. I'm gonna get rid of all that. I'm gonna get rid of it, yeah, a lot of this is still work in progress. But if we go over to like a slightly darker bit of the level... Can I just take these guys out? There we go. Let's go stand here and have a look. So now we can kind of see it against a darker background. The eyes, I can start to see that the irises need to be a bit narrower. And the eyes need to be a little closer together, I think. And the cheeks need to be a bit fuller, I think. And maybe the jaw needs to is a little too thin. I think the jaw, yeah, it needs to kind of puff out a little bit. It looks a little too angular. It's gotta add some chub to the jaw. Because what I think the thing that looks a bit off to me now that I'm looking at it is that her jaw is like very angular, but her face is like too wide because of the hair. So I think sorry, I hit the mic. So her cheeks need to kind of come down a bit to kind of round the shape, because it looks like it's a little too angular and a little too round in like the mid section. So I think maybe with the hair too could help, or if I like have it go less round at the top and like flatter, so that the roundness kind of comes out more near the bottom, and then maybe I like bring the cheeks down a little. That might fix that, because that's just what I'm seeing. But I'm liking where her hairline is, the side part. I'm not sure if I should try and bring it over a bit more, or if that's fine. Maybe it is fine. Eye width is good. Says triangle. Narrowing and straightening the lower eyelid. Maybe. Because the thing is, I still haven't quite figured this out yet. Of how I want her eyes to look. I think this isn't it. I can't put my finger on what it is, but it doesn't look like her. and I was trying to get the eyes to be very like up, like slanted up a bit, but it doesn't. I think maybe it's the eye, not the actual eyelash, but the iris needs to be thinner, and then just the iris needs to come more towards the middle, so there's more room on the outside of it. I think that's what's missing, because it's like rotated out too wide. I think that's what it is. It's this corner. It's taking up too much space. Yeah, I think that's it. Sorry if I clipped the mic, by the way. I'm just very excited. And yeah, if you see these artifacts, like the line, don't worry about that. That's just the outer line just kind of being glitchy. I'm gonna vertex paint the outer line so that it doesn't go over the front of the face, because you can start to see it causing issues on the mouth and everything. But don't worry about that. That's something we can fix. But yeah, you can see from this angle the mouth is like too pinched in like that. It needs to come out a bit, because I'm just looking at the head from this angle, and I'm looking at the color and the line, and it's too aggressive, the slant. It needs to, yeah. Like, it's too angular for the size of the chin. If the chin was longer, that would be fine, but then she'd be a man, and that's not quite what we're after. Although from this side, it does look a little different. But yeah, she does. It's the eyes, man. It's, yeah. She just looks a little, like, she looks annoyed. You know what I mean? Like, I really hope it's just the eye shape, but she just looks annoyed. Like, she looks so done. She's had enough. She's like, that's it. I want to try one of the other idol poses and see how that looks. I want to try one of the other ones. Maybe it's the pose that makes her look cross. I haven't looked at this pose yet in Engine, but it's another one of my favorites, where she's doing like this stretch. That'd be a fun idol. Well, I don't know how that would work, but it would be cool. But it's a bit hard to judge the face in this pose, and it looks kind of funny. Where's the other good poses? Oh, actually, I'm curious if I can make her look like she's sitting down on something, because I do have a pose of her sitting, but I'm curious if I can line it up, because I'm curious how it'll look, just for fun. All right, can I move her? Oh, can I get her on the chair? Oh, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do it. Oh. Okay, she's floating above the chair. Almost. Almost had it. Yeah, no, the collider's not gonna let me do that, will it? It kind of looks... This pose kind of looks like she's in the Lego Star Wars Yoda chair. That's what's going on. She's got the Lego Star Wars chair going on. Alright, let's... I want to get one of the other idols of her standing. I just want to see if there's any others. Oh, it's just T-pose. Flip. Oh, I'm curious how that pose looks. I want to see this. Because I want this to be like her landing pose if she falls from a high distance. And I can see now that I might have to like adjust like how the camera behaves when she lands, because she's like hardly in frame. This is one of my favorite ones. I'm probably going to use this a lot for thumbnails. I just want to see how that looks like in the level too. And then I want to try her idol. She Iron Man, yeah. Iron Cat. So, I mean, yeah, no matter what pose, she does just look... She looks irritated. And it's in the eyes, I think. And I think her face, I don't know if it's the hair that's exacerbating this, but I think her face might look a little too wide. Like the entire face. Okay, I want to try her with just her hands on her hips or something. I still have no earthly idea why her head stretches on that one animation. Where is it? Where's her pose? Oh, there we go. Alright, let's try that. Her smile looks a minute. Yeah, her mouth does look a bit off, doesn't it? Yeah, she just looks so irritated. Like, oh my god. She looks not happy. She looks cross. Yeah, it's the irises are too big. They gotta come in and be narrowed. And yeah, I think I'm pretty sure what I gotta do now. What does she look like next to this fellow? How does she look? Oh, the lighting is not flattering there. Her outline, I've noticed that I've done a thinner outline for her, and I'm not sure if I should keep that. The outline for the other characters is much thicker. I know, you guys tell me, because it's probably best that you tell me, because on stream the bitrate might be a bit lower. So if it still looks good with like the stream YouTube bitrate, then that's great. And if not, then I'm in trouble. Can you see the outline? Like, from this distance, can you guys see her outline, or should it be thicker? She hasn't had chicken tendies in a long time. Yeah, I'd be that cross too if I didn't have tendies for that long. Thicker? Yeah, I reckon too. I think it's the anti-aliasing, because it looked fine in Blender, but in here the anti-aliasing is just destroying the line work, I think. So I think I might need to make it a bit thicker. By the way, speaking of the anti-aliasing, I've changed it. It shouldn't have that weird ghosting problem anymore now. So for those who have played the older build, you would have noticed like this ghosting artifacts going on. That's because I was using the default like MSAA multi-sampling, which is not good for this style. So it's now using just FXAA now, which is technically inferior, but it looks better, so I'm using it. So I'm just using normal FXAA. So it's a bit less aggressive on the anti-aliasing, and it doesn't ghost. I would use MSAA. I think it's the one. Oh no, yeah, so the one I was using before was TSAA, which had the sampling artifacts. And I really want to use MSAA, but it only works on forward rendering, so I can't use it. And it's made me question whether I should switch everything to forward rendering or not, but that's a decision for another day. Okay, so thicker outline. Yeah, when I look at it compared to the cubes, she doesn't look right. Like her outline's way too thin. All right. I will leave those in the game for later. I know, well the thing is, if it still looks good with the YouTube compression, then that's fine. If it doesn't look good with YouTube compression, then... Because what that's going to mean is if people make videos about the game and you can't see the outline in other people's videos, then that's not so good either, isn't it? So in fact, the YouTube compression is a positive in this case, because it needs to look good even with the compression. All right, so I'm getting hungry, so I'm just going to make I'm just going to do the eyes, the adjustments I wanted to do there, and see what we end up getting. Because I'm going to need to just rest my eyes a bit more to like decide what to do about the hair. So let me hide this and bring back the everything else. Just got to find where her hair follicles went. So I know I've got them all separated and it's a bit annoying, but that way I can edit these, so I don't mind it. Just gotta remember where they all are. Okay, I think that's all. Oh, there's one missing. There we go. It's all their hair. And the ear is here somewhere too. And the tail. Okay, now these are all the separate meshes, all the gang's back together. So, and I've got her eyes hidden, so I'm just gonna try and... Oh no, I should get the eyes back. Okay. So... Oh, I can't see anything. Let's rotate. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, she looks angry. It's not so good. So what I'm thinking, because I also tried doing this thing where I like made them concave, which I'm not really digging now. So I might just make another, or no, I think what I can do is if I right click and flatten, there we go. I'll make them flat. Right click, flatten. Because I don't know, concave doesn't really, it doesn't, I don't know, just it might create issues. So and I'm just going to adjust it on one side and then I'll copy it over. And it's not going to line up with the whites yet, but I'm not going to worry about that now. I think it should come up a bit. All right, let's copy that over. I'm just gonna negate the rotation, I think. Oh, not like that. Oh, okay, that doesn't look right either. Oh, it doesn't. Oh no, it is. Yeah, no, I think that's it. Yeah, because they're separate objects and the origin is in the middle, which I kind of want at the moment. So I don't have the mirror modifier. It won't really work there. It looks a little better, but I think it looks not as annoyed. She looks a little happier, but I think I can bring the eyes in a bit closer. Yeah, I think the concave trick, I don't know where I saw that from. I can't honestly remember. I think I just did it because it's like when you look at it from the side, the pupil kind of goes further in, but I don't know. I might like just combine this and like take out some of the edge loops and just make it a texture, which might eliminate the need for it being concave, maybe. Because I reckon if I just do that with texture, it will, yeah, might as well. It's probably easier. Okay, I'm just trying to be careful not to select the entire face. I just want to select the bits of the eye that are relevant. So, and I want to get the bit of the eyelid because I want that to move with it. Oh, I selected something at the back of the head. That's not good. Oh, yeah. I think that was like mostly everything I had selected last time. So let's proportional edit and just like try and move it in. It's gonna squash the nose. I'm just trying to be very careful not to squish the nose too much. So I might reduce and maybe angle them a little like that. Ah. It's really hard. It's so hard to tell. I kind of do like it when it's a bit further out. I think I like it like that. What if oh. Bro's sleeping. She's seen enough. It's so funny how like now she just looks really like suspect. She's like, this is like when the imposter is sus. Sorry, I'm having too much fun. But now that with all the colors, it's a bit easier to tell what's her and what isn't. Oh, actually that, maybe that. If I angle them up more. I'm digging this. But she still looks a little angry. So I might go back a little. And I think I just gotta move these. Oh no, she looks very angry now. But that's tricky. It's looking better. I'm seeing it, and I can't put my finger on what it is, but the eyes look a little less annoyed. It might be the lower bit, actually. Yeah, hold on. I think it's the lower bit. It's the angle of this. I gotta slant it up more. Like that. It looks a bit more relaxed now. And I think if I bring it up, it'll look like her cheeks will be a bit fuller if I bring that up a bit, I think. Or if I like take that and like kind of bring the cheeks up a little. Yeah, with the lower bits angled up, it kind of looks a little bit like more that she's smiling, just a little. Without them, if they were down, like, yeah, let's try how this looks, just as a thought experiment here. So if I take those bits and move them like that, you can yeah, you see it? You see it, right? She looks pissed. She looks angry. She does not look happy. So the trick is, I think maybe I can shrink these a little too, and maybe move them over a little. Thanks for the hearts. Hide the lower eye. I don't know, I want there to be a lower eye though, because all the drawings I have that in. But I don't want it to hide the eye, I don't think. I don't know, we'll try it, but I'm not a fan of it, but we'll try it. I think I just might need to move this forward. So you mean like that? I don't know. It's... Let me look at my sticker pack, available, linked in description, and see how her eyes do. Well, she's looking down, and then she's turned away, and she's oh, okay, it does kind of crop a little. Okay, maybe... Huh. I guess I didn't notice that. I thought I always drew it with a lot of space. I guess I was wrong. Let me look at a higher res version. Where have I put it? Oh no. Okay, here we go. Well, she's like cross, but it is touching, I guess. But I do have more of that slant here too. So I guess I got something right by accident there. But how do I get it to like clip and not look bad is the question. Because I don't want it to look like she's squinting. That's the trick. I think I could probably move that a bit closer there. And maybe move these up. Like that. This is getting closer now. Might try it with bit smaller. But I don't want to make them too small, because if I do that, because they gotta look distinctive in game still. I might bring those back up. It'll probably look better once we get specular on it. But I reckon if I can get this looking convincing without it, it'll look even better with it. So I do want to make a slight adjustment to this. I think I might need to change which edge loop the lash comes out, because it might need to go back one edge. That could be why it's looking a bit off. So just temporarily, I'm just going to move these edges down. Oh, that's better. I wonder how it'll look from the side. If I like... Oh, yeah. It's... There needs to be... It comes up a little too high from the side. So I want to... Like, this needs to kind of relax a little. This part, I think. This part and this part they need to relax. That's a bit better. And then maybe I just want to like kind of move around these a little. I just got to be conscious of the eye shape too, because okay, let's bring all that down just a little. Yeah, that's looking a bit better. All right, let's move some of these vertices so that it covers up the back. I don't know if this is just how their models do it. I don't know if that's how I like it, but it's just following what they do. They do it like this. I don't know how they move the eyes in their animations, but I guess we'll find out. And oh, I've got an extra vertex here. Interesting. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Well, it's just like they seem to have it where it's just sort of doing this type thing. Oh no, I had these arranged wrong, I think. Okay, now we've got that extra edge loop. So it's a bit twisty, bit topsy-turvy, but it works. I guess if it's done this way, then the eye won't clip into the whites, which was happening with the old model. So that's a positive, I guess. All right, that's... I don't know where this is meant to go. I think it might meant to go there, maybe? But I don't know. I guess we'll leave that one. So now the whites are... Oh, wait, what's this? What is that? Oh, what is this? No. That should not be there. Okay. That's better. I mean, it is clipping a bit though, eh? And I have to... Oh... Okay, no, we've gone into a bit of a tough area here now where I have to like take this and move it. See, this is going to be one of the challenges with trying to clip it into the bottom, is that it'll have Z fighting. So I might have to retopologize that whole bit for that to work, because I didn't think of doing it that way. Yeah, you can see that this is... Yeah. So maybe just temporarily... I don't... Oh, can I fix that? I don't know. That's gonna be tough. I don't quite know how I'm gonna solve that problem. Oh, wait, what happened there? Okay. Yeah, it's just a tough fit. Because of it's because of this edge. Okay, maybe if I do that. Oh, all right. Maybe if I just shift these all around, that might help. Maybe. Yeah, this looks... Yeah, okay, maybe this. Not 100% sure, but... yeah, now we've got a bit of weird stuff going up at the top. Oh, well, that made it worse. Uh-oh. Oh. I think I... Oh, it's... Oh, I had it on the wrong vert. No, that's my bad. It's coming in too close. That's the problem. Because of the back face culling. Because, yeah, it's transparent. I was matching it to there. I was matching it to the wrong place. My bad. Except I can't see. Oh, there's what I meant to... Okay, no, that was my bad. Maybe it isn't a problem after all. I was matching it inside the eye, not on the edge of the eye. I don't know what that edge is doing there, but I'll leave that alone. Okay. We should... have hopefully less clipping. Except I can't find the next edge. Oh, there we go. Oh no, is that? Oh, I don't know if that's the right edge. I don't know if oh. Okay, this is a little... Okay, that's meant to go there. All right, it's just a bit hard to see. It's such a tight fit. But I think... Okay, no more Z fighting. All right, great. Brilliant. It's a little... We got some weird kind of clustering there, like it's sort of twisting. But that is Future Ray's problem. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about what to do there. It's like kind of crunching up. Like you can see it. If I turn on the wireframe, you can't really notice. Oh, I mean, oh no, there's a gap. You can kind of see it. Can I just fix that? Oh no, that's just a shadow. But that is still not great. That is not an optimal solution. Maybe if I move that there. Move that there. Is that better? Oh, I mean, it's not perfect, but I'll just leave it. I'm gonna have to I'll have to like redo this whole part here for that to work. But that'll be future me, which is a problem. Because current me is hungry. But that's looking better. I'll see if I've got the old version there still. And let me just turn the hair back on. So if I go to here, oh, is that it? Oh, that's not it. Yeah, so I'll turn off the modifier. So that's old compared to new. Let me make that a bit easier. So there we go. That's before, after. It's looking a little better, I think. Thanks, Emerald Sword. Appreciate the kind words. Pupil should be bigger? Well, I want to be careful with the pupils. You may be right. Let me look at how I tend to draw them pretty small though, so I want to keep it accurate to the drawing. I think it's just the specular is probably going to like make or break it, probably, which will come in with texturing. Ziggly says previous eyes look more intense. Yeah, I don't want her to look annoyed. That's the thing. She's meant to be in a good mood. Yeah, and I'll thicken the outline, but I think I just have to punch in a number, but I'll do that once I combine everything. That should be easy to do at the end. Where's a drawing of her straight? I don't know if I have one actually. Like, this is gonna sound crazy, but I didn't do any model sheets for this. I tried, I started, but then I just kind of gave up and started modeling. So I don't have any drawing of her like straight on. Or maybe an old one. I'll try and... This is like from the side, but I might have an old one. But these are kind of not how I draw her anymore. These aren't very... Like, they aren't her best. They're still not really from the front. And it's like, they're overexpressive. So it's a bit... I don't know. It's a bit hard to tell. And yeah, because her hair, you can see that her hair's changed. Like, this was from the first model, and her hair is a lot messier, and you can see how I've, like, changed it a lot since then. I like her eyes there, but that is, like, not the expression she has a lot of the time. I don't know if I can even get that shape. I don't know. These are the Guilty Gear eyes. Some of them are usually bigger than this, I think. But they do look kind of angry. Although they do this thing that I'm not really a fan of, where they have it all connected, like the top and bottom lash are just one piece. And I didn't want to do it like that because that's not how I draw them. I don't know if there's any other examples. Don't think so. Well, that's it from the front. But yeah, I didn't like doing it with the one piece. I wanted it to have two pieces, like I've got here. So I've got a top piece and a bottom piece. But, yeah. I guess, yeah, pupil size would vary. Well, I don't know, let's try it out. If I, like, take this and, like, take that. Oh, can I, like, hopefully I can just edit these both. Scale times 2. I mean, I guess without specular, it's always gonna look a bit off. Because now, I don't know, it's... I don't know, it looks weird. It looks kind of weirder to me, to be honest. It looks like she's like giving me the death stare. Maybe if I like move it like there. I don't know. That does not look symmetrical there. So I might keep them as they were. And I think I'm just gonna let textures carry the bulk of the lifting on that front. Oh yeah, her cheeks. Sorry, I forgot. I was gonna like make her a bit chubbier. Oh, okay, I might have to move the hair out of the way. Oh no! There we go. Oh dude, I can give her the Skrillex haircut. Let's go. Yes. Gabi, drop the bass. She's got she's got the Skrillex hair. There we go. I don't know, should I just leave it like that? I think I can work. Yeah, let's work with that. So because now I can select the cheek, which is what I was trying to do. Man, 2012, what a year, huh? That was a great year. Back when like everything was just dubstep. UKF dubstep, but everywhere. Actually, oh man, speaking of... Wait a minute. Do I have it? Oh. Yeah, speaking of dropping the bass, I really wish I could chuck this on. The OG. Hell yeah. If I didn't, if copyright claims didn't exist, I'd put this in and we jam out, but I want to make money, so I'm not going to do that. But I am very pleased to say I have the high quality, uncompressed, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites sitting in my hard drive. So if I want to listen to WOB bass with like perfect audiophile clarity, I can. And that gets me up every morning. That motivates me to keep going. So I just want to bring like these edges further out. And I want to take... So what I'm gonna... Okay, I'm gonna try something that's a bit risky, but we're gonna see how it goes. What I'm gonna try and do is essentially like pinch her cheeks. So I'm gonna like... I'm just gonna like grab them and go like, yeah. And we're gonna see how that sort of looks with proportional editing. Like that. We can make her look very sad. Gabi's not happy. Nuh-uh. Okay. Like that. That's what I was thinking. So I've just pinched them down. And if we pinch them too much, they go inside her teeth, which we don't want. That's the mandatory grandmother moment. We gotta pinch her cheeks like that. Look how much you've grown, and then you just gotta pinch them like that, like, and then just stitch. Then you gotta get stitches to repair that. Luckily, Gabi's a 3D model. She does not need stitches, thankfully. I had to do it. I had to do it at least once. I had to pinch her cheeks at least once. Well, the cool thing is, if I rig this up right, I could animate them doing that. But don't get too excited. Okay, is that too much? Is that too much on the cheeks? I think it may be a little. Maybe I went a little too far. I think it's the jaw. I think it, because that. Let me just bring them down a bit, and then it's the jaw I have to widen a little. Okay, I think I'm liking that. And then I'm just gonna weld that back shut. So we're doing a bit of surgery now. I gotta stitch her chin back up. And I could do that with the power of the magic. I just gotta make sure I've got the right edges selected. So if I do that... Oh, no. What have I done? I've pinched her chin shut. No. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And then I should just be able to yoink. All right. I'm liking that a bit more. We'll do a comparison of the chin And then I really should eat, because I've probably expended my energy today for modeling. So I'm gonna get her hair back, undo the Skrillex cut. Where's the rest of her hair? Come back. There we go. And then wherever her thing was. So that's, oh, side by side comparison. Oh, sorry, I realized I didn't have this on. There we go. So I'll just hide myself so you guys can see. So there's, oh, old chin, new chin. It's very subtle. It'll probably only be noticeable in game, to be fair. But if I like rotate it, okay, it is really hard to notice still. I noticed it a lot more when we were in engine, but I can't be bothered to go and re-import it yet. What if I do this? Well, yeah, I guess her cheeks sit a bit lower now. But she looks, wow, she looks even more cross with the outline for some reason. Why is that? Okay, I'll turn off the outline. She looks really angry with the outline. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys. I'll have to work. Oh, I'll have to work on it a little. I think yeah. I'll probably. I just need to refresh my eyes because I'm looking at this too long. But yeah. So, well, hey, I'm glad I kept this version because now we can like just see it side by side, which is pretty cool. But I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna probably stop it there. So for the hair, I'm mostly happy, but I want to redo the front. And then throughout this week, I'll probably be topologizing it so it's all kind of merged into one mesh and then having like those finer details in. So if you want to see like the step-by-step progress of that between streams, if you become a member, you could join my Discord, and I'm like posting a lot of screenshots there of work in progress screenshots of the model like every other day. So if you want like the goss, the juice, the tea, join now and you'll get the tea. And you'll also get behind the scenes updates on my editing as well, because I have been doing some editing and writing for videos. So that's right, I haven't been lazy. I've been stockpiling, okay? I've just been like a bear in the winter. I've been stockpiling my devlogs, and I'm not gonna release them all whenever. I'm gonna be strategic about it. But if you want to see those first, the higher tier members get early access to the episodes. So I'm probably going to make one of them available this week to my members, and then like a few days later to everyone else. So if you want to see that, consider doing that, and it supports me as well, so that I can keep making Gabi's face beautiful. Thanks guys, they're very nice comments. And also before I go, check the buy sticker, please. This is my trade offer. I'm going to do a big trade offer. You receive sticker set of Gabi, who I've drawn the cheeks properly in all of these, so she has the nice cheeks, and you can like get the sticker and pinch the cheeks yourself if you want. That'd be kind of weird, but you can do it. So that's my trade offer. You receive sticker sheet, I receive development funds. I reckon that's a fair trade. So check those out. Link down below. And I will see you guys next week, same time, Wednesdays, 12 AM UTC, and we'll see what we get up to next with the model. I'm hoping, if nothing goes wrong, I might be able to start doing some like normal editing and maybe some of the cost. I don't know. I haven't quite picked because I can do things out of order, but we'll see what we get to. But I'm hoping the hair will be done by then, and maybe some other bits, but we'll see. If you want to see how it goes throughout the week, become a member, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for coming, guys. Appreciate it.